Broadcasting. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins now have 11 straight home wins after they held off Pittsburgh 2-1 at TD Garden last night. Murat Hustadinov and Casey Middlestat scored goals less than a minute apart in the first period. And then Marco Sturm watched Jeremy Swayman make it stand up with 34 saves in net.
He had made the great saves, and just the way he if you look at him, the way he smiles, the way he talks, I think he's back to normal, back to the old way, and he was the reason why we won this game today.
Bruins have tonight off. They'll visit Nashville tomorrow evening. The NHL trade deadline is Friday. Celtics had last night off. They're back at work tonight at home against Charlotte. Jason Tatum remains out for the Green. Everyone else is in. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. As for the Red Sox, they lost to the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team in Fort Myers last night 5-3. They play the Yankees at JetBlue Park this afternoon. The USA World Baseball Classic team beat San Francisco 15-1 in Arizona yesterday. Current Red Sox star Roman Anthony and former Sox star Alex Bregman both hit homers for the U.S. in the win. Paul Skeens went 3 innings. And in NFL news, the Jets placed the franchise tag on running back Breece Hall. Indianapolis placed a transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Super Service Today. When your heat or hot water goes out, waiting isn't an option. Super Service Today's warehouse in Danvers is stocked with water heaters, furnaces, boilers, and heat pumps with same-day replacement, day or night, and always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Diving effort. And he's got a breakaway. To the backhand. Throws it in front. Coming to the spot.
The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
In our room.
He had like rain on the board and everything like that.
No.
Hi, good morning. It is Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred Toucher will not be on with us today. He was going to make a hero's effort and come in, even though sick. We said, well, Adam was going to make him come in. And in a role reversal, I said no.
It's weird. It was kind of some bizarro universe the rest of us were living in. Usually you're the hard ass. It's like, oh, is he walking? Is he talking? I mean, can he stumble over to the microphone upstairs? I mean, what's the problem? You did not lose your cool. You didn't get all pissy. You said, you know what? It's fine.
You know what it
and
is?
I think it shocked everyone else in the room when you said it.
Well, it is the gastrointestinal ailment that he is suffering from, which, look, if you have a cold, whatever, everyone has, some form of a cold, flu, COVID still going around, whatever. That's going to happen. That's unavoidable. This, if you can identify patient 0 or the carrier, and you can prevent getting something that will keep you out of the bathroom for, say, 24 hours, I'm okay with avoiding that person at all costs.
I'm with you. I took the hands-off approach, which I'm trying to evolve as I learn how to do this job. And if I hear from one of you and you're sharing with me that you're having some sort of ailment, some sort of difficulty that's going to get in the way of you coming to work, I'm trying not to tell you what to do. I'm trying to just listen to what you have to say and meet you where you are. But I'm glad I did have the same thought that you did, Hardy, when Fred shared what was holding him up. I thought at first it would be the weather, and then when he shared what was holding him up, I said, if I were John or Hardy, I don't know that I would want someone with these particular ailments in the same closed room as me for 4 hours.
Yeah,
So.
I mean the illness that Fred is dealing with is something that I don't even like to talk about all that much because I don't want to manifest it or tempt fate or karma or anything else. But I do remember when the kids were little, and every time they would get something like this, my wife and I would then get it. And,
That's with anything, usually.
But how many times, not from drinking, right? How many times did you throw up as an adult due to illness, say between the ages of 20 and when you had kids? I think I can count them on one hand.
Sure.
The number of times I got sick to that extent.
I think it might be 0. And you're saying illness, not obviously overindulgence. But yes, that's probably 0 for me.
Right.
And then the kids come along, and all of a sudden that changes dramatically.
Right. Yes.
And I remember asking my mom because, we had been through this a couple of times already. And, this may have been the one. There was a really, really bad one. This is when we decided for my wife celebrating a milestone birthday, I wanted to take her to Paris. She had never been to Paris. Now, it was
glorious.
It's the city of lights, John.
It is. It's fantastic.
Oh,
the hotel rooms are spacious. It's awesome.
Paris is for lovers.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hotel rooms are awesome.
But no, and look.
Very small hotel room.
Exactly. We were doing it on a budget. And I also wanted to do it kind of around my wife's birthday, which was in November. So I said, hey, let's go in December. It's dirt cheap to go to Paris, the week before.
Yeah, when
Christmas.
It's cold. Yes, it is dirt cheap.
Yeah, right?
It's like going to Vegas during the summer.
It was just like a sad little, this is probably like 15 years ago now, right?
Okay.
Didn't really have the money to do it, but let's just do it. Let's live a little, okay? So we did like a Wednesday to Sunday Paris trip. It was kind of like it was like some people would go to Vegas.
That's pushing it.
Maybe one day too long for Vegas, but certainly one day too short for Paris.
I was going to say 2, but yeah.
It's just
going there, and just when you kind of get used to it, you have to go back.
But not a lot of money.
Man.
Not a lot of money and not a lot of time, but we just wanted to do it. So had my mom and her friend come up and stay with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Great. At this time, my daughter is probably 5 and my son is like 1.5, something like that. Okay? Right, great. Here we go. So we go to Paris, and almost upon landing, within the first day we're there, we find out that my son is sick. With the throwing up and the diarrhea and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom calls and says, actually she called because she wanted the phone number for a neighbor across the street. I'm like, why are you asking for don't not give me the whole story here. What's going on? Well, Calvin is sick, so I can't take Katie to school because I don't want to leave him here with, my friend Susie, whoever she brought with her to help watch the kids. But it's silly sock day, and she really wants to go. I'm like, oh, all right, well, here's the number, but whatever. All right, so that's Thursday. On Friday, she calls again and says, look, Katie wants to sleep over at Izzy's house tonight, and Izzy wants her to sleep over. I said, no. Well, why not? I said, because she's going to get sick next. And what I didn't tell my mother is, and then it's you, and then it's your friend, and then when Marcy and I get home, it's going to be us. This is the chain of events here.
Yeah.
No, she really wants to. It'll be fine. All right. Nobody listens to me ever, so go ahead. Sure enough.
Let me ask you something. After you hung up the phone, were you kind of rooting to be right? Were you kind of rooting for everyone to get sick?
No.
And you're like, that'll give you an I told you so in the chamber?
No, because I knew what was going to happen, and here's what happened. Katie went over to Izzy's house, walked into her parents' room, at 2:00 in the morning, I feel sick, and threw up all over their bedroom floor. Like, yep. I love to say I told you so.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
you
my
knew it was
favorite
going to
thing in the
happen.
world.
And in some part of your brain, we're like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but
no one listens to me. Maybe you will the next time.
It's your kids who are sick and you're helpless because there's nothing you can do.
Sure.
I literally got that phone call arguing about her staying over at Izzy's house while we're sitting in the cafe of the Louvre.
Sure.
We had just looked at the Mona Lisa and the Mona Lisa.
Yep.
And eating a baguette, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. So the boy's sick, my daughter's sick, I know what's coming next. So we make it home and come to find out that my mom, not sick, but her friend, real sick.
Yeah.
And was sleeping in the little guest room we had set up in the basement to the point where she crapped the bed.
Wow. For an adult to be that sick.
An adult was so sick, and she came up carrying the sheets, kind of like Spike does in Train Spotting.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
a good visual.
and she's going to go put him in the washing machine. I said, no, please let me. She goes, no, she's totally embarrassed. I said, no, that's fine. And I took those sheets and I took them outside and I threw them in the garbage.
Damn right you did.
Yeah.
No, not keeping those in the house. No.
Nicholas Gemelli situation.
The capper to all of this is my mom. She's like, oh my God, well, that was awful. I'm so glad he had a nice time. We're going to go home now. All right. My mom gets on the plane to fly back to Raleigh and upon boarding says, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then she spends the entire flight in the bathroom of this 2-hour flight being sick and stays sick for like days afterward.
Did you say anything to your mom about this?
I'm so sorry.
In retrospect,
no.
Other than I'm so sorry. You see, I wouldn't have been able to control it. I would have had to mention that I warned you that this was going to happen.
About Katie going over to her friend's house.
And then spreading this, and I would not have been able to contain myself because I would have been so pissed that they had ignored it.
Yeah, but
now look, that makes you a far better person than me, which I guess people believe in anyway. But honest to God, Hardy, I don't know how you restrained yourself from the "I told you so." That's the overriding thing of this whole story.
For their purposes, it ended up being okay because that way they could just concentrate on keeping Calvin, well for that one night. And some other parents had to take care of Katie, at least for a few hours. So for my mom, it was probably 70 at the time, or close to it, something around there. This wasn't fun for her. And the other end result of all of this is that woman who came up to stay with her and help her take care of the kids, I don't know that she ever spoke to her again. Or should I say, that woman never spoke to my mother again.
I was going to ask for that for you to.
Specify that. They were obviously good friends.
Yeah.
And after that trip and that ordeal, certainly not friends anymore. And I'll have to ask my mom today if she ever talked to that woman.
They live in the same community, or like right around the corner from one another?
Same town. Yeah. I mean, it's like they met through, I don't know, probably like Oldster Yoga or something.
Right.
I don't know how they met.
Is there coming back from a situation like that? Like if you put yourself into a similar situation with a friend, or is it the type of friend? Like, I feel like if you and I were in that situation, Hardy, we could come back from that because it would now become a core joke to our friendship. Hey, remember at 12, remember that time you crapped the bed? Oh, yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. Blah, blah, blah. But I think there's certain friends or connections that you have that maybe that does signal the end of that connection, the end of that friendship. There's no coming back from that.
It's not like they were lifelong friends. They're
casual friends.
Yeah, and here's a fun little adventure. Fly with me to Boston. Help me take care of my grandkids for a couple of days. They're so cute, and we'll watch TV while they're at school. And forget it. Wow. No more relationship between those two. But it was like after one of those illnesses, I said to my mom, I'm like, hey, I don't remember you and Dad getting sick every time my sister and I got sick when we were kids. And my mom, for the life of her, she's like, I honestly can't remember it either. Like I don't know. And my dad probably didn't, because A, he wasn't like around us enough to like catch anything, and B, he was killing off a lot of those germs with scotch. So, that's that. I don't think he got affected by it to the extent that maybe my mom did, but she doesn't even really remember.
I think if you're a parent, and let's bring it back to this particular job where sleep is at a premium, you don't get enough, you don't have the energy to fight off illnesses doing this as you would if you would get 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep every night. I caught almost everything my kids had when they were younger.
Right. Because you're already, your resistance is already low.
Already low. Yeah. And it was, I remember, I want to say when we first started the show and there was a bad virus going around. My kids were throwing up regularly, and then my wife caught it a couple of days later, and then I was the last one, and I knew it was going to happen. That's the worst.
Yeah.
When you see it coming, and there's no way, no matter how many vitamins you take or how much medicine you have, there's no sidestepping it, so it's just kind of like waiting for the hammer to fall, and sure enough, I woke up one morning, and my stomach was tight. I'm like, oh, man. And it was maybe 8 hours in the bathroom. That day, it was awful.
Yeah.
Wait, John, were your kids born like right around the same time you started doing this show?
Yes, my kids were born 3 weeks before the show started.
That's
and
right.
I had one kid that was only 3 pounds when he was born, spent 2.5 weeks in the NICU at Newton Wellesley Hospital. So I was, going to the other job I had before, feeding one kid at home, and then going to the hospital and feeding one kid in the NICU. Those 3 weeks were not fun.
So the first couple, just real quick, the first couple of years of you doing this job is your kids are now they're toddlers, they're in daycare, they're bringing home every damn term they can, and you're trying to kind of get your feet under you doing mornings, and you can't.
I caught stuff.
Miserable.
I caught stuff the first couple of years we had this show that I never had in my life.
Like
like pink eye, for example.
Hand, foot, and mouth.
Seriously, I cycled through all of it.
Yeah,
the first 2 or 3 years I did this show. So. Guys, I want to welcome you to the program. How long you been here now?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hardy, are you not going to make the bird flu joke? Do I make the bird flu joke there?
Well, there's the bird flu, and then that 3-pounder that you had. I'm surprised he just didn't get kicked out of the nest. Now he wasn't fed, right? Because you don't waste regurgitated worms on the runt.
No, it was those 3 weeks are a blur. It was not good.
Yeah,
not good.
I think if we had twins, we would have been done too. It's like that's enough. That's fine.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's when I was like, we're done.
Yeah,
I'm like that's fine. I got my hands full. We're good.
I mean, it's happened to 2 friends of mine, one of my neighbors, and then my buddy Frank, who they had 2 kids, and they're like, you know what? This is so much fun. Let's add the third, and you know what the third ends up being?
Twins.
You
know who that happened to? Marshall Hook.
That's right.
That's exactly what happened to Marshall.
Do you know how Do you know what's not unique, but I guess really interesting about Marshall's twins? I think I'm 90% sure on this one. And he was listening yesterday. He texted me something. I forgot to text him.
Yes, he's a frequent listener to the show.
Marshall, just give me a yes or no if you are listening. I believe Marshall's twins were not really twins. I believe it was a double pregnancy.
Yes, I can tell you that is true.
So I've
talked with him about this.
Impregnated his wife, and then she's only like a month pregnant, maybe doesn't even know yet, and they're just still going at it like rabbits, just every night, like
yeah.
And he manages to knock her up again.
Yes.
While she's already knocked up.
That is the story, yes.
Yeah.
I think you have that right.
So the babies were about a month apart in age in the womb, but then delivered at the same time.
Correct.
So I think they held one, what's the opposite of inducing labor?
Reducing? I don't know.
They reduced labor
I don't know.
on the one. But induced labor on the other. So the one was born 2 weeks late and the other was born two weeks early.
Yeah, that sounds like science fiction. I didn't know that was even a thing that you could do.
Well, when you've got super sperm like Marshall Hook.
Apparently.
The Hook's the wild card, man. Yeah. Everything's on the table.
Dude. What did he text me about yesterday? And I feel bad because it's like in the middle of the show and then you forget hours later to text him back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, it was about the affordable insurance ad that someone had asked me about.
Yes.
Okay. All right, there you go. All right, so I said I wasn't going to talk about any type of illness like that. We talked about it for the entire first segment, but maybe that's the reverse jinx. Maybe it won't spread to anyone else. Wonder how Fred got it. It's not like one of his kids.
Yeah, no, he didn't say anything about Milo or Zoe, so I don't know. It's interesting.
Let's hope it's food poisoning.
Fingers crossed.
For everybody's sake.
Spent the whole day with him yesterday. So
yes.
Oh, there you go. All right, good.
Yeah.
Well, did you spend time with him after the show?
No,
yesterday?
I'm just saying that he was in with you guys, and we were all in the pre and post show meeting. So if it's something that was brewing and stewing in his gut while he was with us yesterday, and we were made privy to that via close connection.
You and I would be in more danger because
Yes,
we spent
much
4 hours in this room with him yesterday.
But I sit next to him at the meeting, and that's a smaller room.
I don't think that's the same.
Let's make 12 feel bad. If anyone is going to get sick due to a contagious illness that Fred had, I'd say 12 is more likely.
Yeah.
Because, we're 6 feet apart here.
And me, it's further. So, yeah.
You're fine, John.
Yeah,
but
John's fine in both rooms.
I'm out of the blast radius.
12 sat right next to him for 30 minutes.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah.
We were yucking it up, too, so.
All right. We will talk about the Bruins and everything that happened yesterday with the NFL and the franchise tag and players being released and all that stuff. Dan Roach will join us at 7:25 this morning. Chris Forsberg is on the show starting at 8 a.m. Ryan Johnston on at 9.
By the way, we can talk about golf as much as we want with Forsberg this morning. Who's going to stop you? Oh!
A lot of post-show. Yeah, I had a long meeting about the Sports Hub Golf Club.
All right, real quick, give me the 60-second version because it's time. I mean, this is it. The Masters is 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, whatever it is. It's right around the corner. There are a lot of people who email and tweet me. Is it happening? Is it happening? And
the Sports Hub Golf Club, after 13 years in what would have been the 14th year of being on the air.
I don't like the way this is sounding.
Will, in fact, return.
Yeah! No, that's wrong. That's wrong. It should be joyous. This is a joyous. Thank you. That's closer.
Masters weekend.
Yeah.
And it will continue to air at 4:45 a.m. on Christmas Day.
Every golf superintendent with a stemp meter went, oh, thank God.
No, it will continue to air at 7 a.m. Sunday mornings on 98.5 The Sports Hub, and the Sports Hub Golf Club will return.
Oh, that's fantastic news. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
I tell you who it's bad news for.
Ryan Beaton.
I'm looking at him right now. They call you yesterday,
Ryan
Beaton?
just said they did not
Oh,
notify
no,
me.
he's finding out for the first time.
Clear your schedule, boy. You were...
I forgot he was involved with this.
Out of that 40-minute meeting, you were a topic for 38 minutes of it. Ryan Beaton, executive producer of the Sports Hub Golf Club.
Oh, man.
Get ready to swing them wrenches, kid, because not only do you have to book the show, produce the show, have everything having to do technically with the show, you and I are going to be spending a lot of time going to golf courses and
well,
just
that's
doing
not
stuff.
necessarily a bad thing. He gets some free golf out of this. No.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
I'll hook that little bitch
there we
up.
go. Yes.
That little bitch is going to be decked out head to toe.
Size extra small and everything.
You wear mediums, don't you? I've given you some stuff already.
Yeah, I'd say medium to. I like large because I like wearing baggier clothes. But
I was just going to say, there's no way in hell he's a large.
I wear large.
Yeah, I'm probably closer to a medium.
Closer, you are a medium on a good day.
All right, so there's your news about the Sports Hub.
All right.
All right, what happened last night? We'll find out next. Hold on.
Did you catch a game last night?
Oh, did I catch that game last night? It is Toucher and Hardy here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. Fred is out sick today, so Wallach and I will take you through what happened last night and yesterday. We'll begin with the Bruins, who are home playing host to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And everybody back on the ice now for the Bruins. Swayman, McAvoy, they've returned from their Olympic follies and celebrating, and everybody's back and playing last night. And from the jump last night, Bruins go out there and they're just flying all over the ice. Those first 30 seconds, man, they get two really good chances. You're like, wow, this team is on a mission tonight in this first minute. The puck did make it to the other end of the ice once, though, in that first minute.
McAvoy, a turnover behind the Bruins net. Rust sends it off the far wall, back to the point, a shot, and they score!
Whoops.
Erik Karlsson from the right point throws it at the net, and the Bruins fall behind just 42 seconds in.
And after watching the first 42 seconds, you're thinking, wow, the ice is already tilted. The Bruins are going to stampede these guys tonight. Yeah, 42 seconds in. A shot that I don't know if Swayman would want it back. He was screened by like three different guys, but the shot came out from like behind the blue line. It looked like.
But the scary thing is he never saw it till it was past him.
Yeah.
That was a theme for the evening. There was more than one time, I count at least three, including that one, where Swayman had no idea where the puck was, and it either just missed or hit the post. It was very fortunate the puck was not behind him, in the net.
Hit him in the chest, and not because his positioning was so good, just because he happened to be there.
Oh, hey, there it is.
Well,
that kind of thing. That tended to be a problem. And the worst part of all of that is that Marco Sturm, burned his challenge real quick right after that goal. It's like, that looked like goaltender interference. And you know what?
Who is advising Marco Sturm?
It wasn't goaltender interference. And not only do you give up the goal, you go down a man right after that for delay of game.
So I'm thinking, oh, this is great. They jump out on the ice in the first shift and look great. And then, you give up the goal, which was, all right, it was
regrettable.
Regrettable, but Swayman never saw it. He was screened by like three people. That's fine. But you're going to challenge that? I barely know what I'm looking at, and I'm looking at it saying, I don't see any interference.
Yeah, the guy, the forward was checked into the goaltender. Very obviously
barely.
On replay.
But barely.
I know, but the point is, either way, it wasn't goaltender interference.
No.
Not even close.
So, but they did kill off the power play, and I was thinking the same thing, John. Oh, they're going to go in a 2-0 hole here after jumping out to start this game and looking like they had showed up to play, and all of a sudden, because of just a hinky goal and then a bad decision to challenge, you're going to go down 2-0. They did not go down 2-0. As a matter of fact, about 4.5 minutes later,
Husnudinov, right circle, scores! From just inside the dot, Husnudinov fires it under the crossbar, and the Bruins have tied it at 1.
There we go, all tied at 1, just 5 minutes, 10 seconds into the first period. And if that is not enough action for you to start a hockey game.
Attack zone by Pavel Zacha going into the right wing corner. Able to win that battle. Get it back out to Zadorov. Stepping in for a shot. Rebound. Score! Casey Middlestad buries the rebound, and the Bruins jump into the lead.
There we go. Bruins up 2-1, 6 minutes into the game. And if that's all you saw, okay, you're all set. There you go. There's your fun.
As a guy who watched the bulk of this game.
Oh, so did I.
Very nice. Very happy they went up 2-1. Then things changed. Things changed dramatically, especially late second, early third period.
Okay, so
It was downhill for the visiting team for most of that period of time.
So let's first of all see if you want to amend one of your statements about Swayman.
Okay.
Because you said he wasn't seeing anything. He ended up making 34 saves last night.
Marco Sturm said afterwards he was the reason they won. I'm not saying he was bad. What I'm saying was he was lucky. And
he's
good.
again, like just exactly the guy we had all year long. He came back, was practice is a wild one, but he wanted to been in Philly. Unfortunately, we didn't get him the win, but he was excellent. But the way he played today was even better.
Out of those 34 saves he made, 15 of them alone in the second period.
Yes.
I mean, they were peppering him with shots in that middle period.
Bruins didn't have a shot for the first 9 minutes or so of the third period. 9 minutes of the third period. The offense was all at the other end. Swayman was good. What I'm saying was there were a couple of shots he didn't see at all that were wide or hit the post. I mean, I think Pittsburgh hit 3 posts last night. I mean, he is very fortunate.
There were a few posts in there, but there were some great saves, John.
Now to Girard. Girard with space to the left circle, a shot. Swayman squeezes that one and gets the whistle and has a thank you tap for Andrew Peeke as well.
Peeke getting a thank you tap.
Novak dropped it back to Carlson, stepping in for the shot, and the stop by Swayman. He covers.
Yes, he did. So I give Swayman credit for coming back and being able to hold on, especially through that second period and throughout the third, where I was convinced that based on the way you said the Penguins just downhill for the second and a lot of the third, they were going to find a way. They pulled Skinner with about 2 minutes left and just had lots of opportunities. However, he showed up. The one thing I take away more so than Swayman, to your point, John, getting lucky. Terrible take. He played well.
It was luck. That part of it, he was both lucky and good last night.
Okay, you can be both. And by the way, there was a power play that the Bruins went on. I think it was in the second, where they not only had a really good-looking power play in terms of keeping the puck in the zone, they kept it in the zone for maybe another 90 seconds after time had expired on it. I mean, it was
Ty Anderson had the stat. It was 1:14.
After the power play.
After the power play was over.
See, I didn't even know this. I was just watching it saying, like, this seems like they've been in that zone for like 4 minutes now.
Yeah, it was easily about 2.5, 3 minutes of continuous time.
All right. But they need guys to score now. This is approaching problematic.
Geeky had a great chance from the left wing circle, and it hit Skinner's, not even Skinner's shoulder. It hit the extra uniform on top of his shoulder. His jersey actually deflected the puck just high of the top of the glove side corner, top corner. So Geeky had one labeled, and I don't want to say he got robbed. It was just, getting back to Swayman, just bad luck. Bad luck he did the score. He beat Skinner, but Skinner's jersey was the reason he did the score.
Yeah. 1 goal against the Flyers, 2 goals last night against the Penguins, and just looking like, we're going to need some of these fellows who are tasked with scoring goals to go out there and, I don't know, score some goals now. Am I out of line? And
no, and
thinking that Pastrnak might actually get on the board here in a game like that.
And then that brings it forward to what's right in front of them, which is the NHL's trade deadline. They need, if you really want to reward this club for getting into position, you got to give the offense some help. A lot of these guys have overachieved. I don't think anyone expected Victor Arvidsson to be on a 20-goal pace this year. I mean, Geeky has done his part. Pastrnak has done his part. But if you really want to make some noise and be a pain in the ass to get rid of in the playoffs, you got to add somebody else to help out offensively. And I don't know what you're willing to give up to do it. I don't think you're willing to give up draft picks. You're certainly not willing to make a major move, but you got to get some help for the secondary scoring.
And it was a great start to the season for Geeky. And was he tied for the most goals in the league?
He was. Him and McKinnon were tied for a while, but McKinnon is otherworldly good. Well, so now things are a little different now. But Geeky's still in the top 10.
Yeah, he's tied for 7th right now with the 33 goals. Yep. But that's an amazing season total for him. So what, really were you expecting to happen offensively for this team?
Not this.
Well, and for him, like you said, he's done his part. Now I know you don't have an allotted number of goals, and if you're playing well, you should be able to continue to play well. But if water finds its level a little bit with Geeky, you need other guys to step up, or you need to get them help offensively at the trade deadline.
I don't know who necessarily. Look, I don't know who is necessarily out there. We're going to have Ryan Johnston on later. Maybe he can help us. There are rumors about Owen Tippett, who I'm not well versed on. I must say though, Don Sweeney saying what he said a couple of days ago, leads me to believe that he is going to make a move this in the next 48 hours. Trade deadline is Friday afternoon.
They have the availability. They have, money-wise, they have the resources when it comes to picks. Swayman laid it all out, and he said this team deserves it, and the resources are there. If they don't end up doing something, it's going to look terrible.
Tippett has 19 goals for Philadelphia this year and has had more than 20 in each of the last 3 years. That's the kind of guy I'm talking about. Secondary scoring, not a guy that's going to cost you an arm and a leg, but a guy who can certainly help this team down the stretch.
I'm still angry with you for saying that Swayman was lucky.
I said lucky and good. What's wrong with that?
It's about identity, John.
It's an identity thing, and I think that we're really rallying around it and understanding that we have confidence in the last 5 minutes of a crucial game, and we got to be comfortable in these kind of tight games, especially down this playoff push. So I'm really proud of the guys, and it's one of those things that you have to keep doing, keep competing.
Here's the problem. Watching the game last night, and this has nothing to do with what you just played, but I think it's relevant to the conversation. I can't just watch games anymore and not connect them to the show in some way, shape, or form. For instance, Pittsburgh has a guy who's skating on the top pair. His first name is Parker. And
is that the guy that got stabbed?
No, I'm not doing it. You can't make me do it either. I'm not doing it. His last name starts with a W, and instead of
looking at the back room,
someone in the NHL got stabbed?
If Colin were near a mic, I bet I could get him on it. Colin's filling in for Nick.
Yeah.
Colin, come over to the microphone.
Come over to the microphone here. Yeah, actually, you can go over to Ryan's microphone there. We got a live mic for you there.
I can't remember his name now. There was a guy used to play for the Bruins. He's with Pittsburgh now. He got stabbed recently. He's playing last night. Parker, what's his name?
I have no idea.
Damn it.
Am I supposed to?
The same last name as that actress, Reese. What's her name?
Witherspoon?
No, with a knife.
Yeah.
Saved it.
Savage.
Go back over there. Colin.
But instead of looking, it's like, oh, yeah, he used to play for the Bruins. I thought, oh, crap, I hope he doesn't score a goal. Otherwise, it's going to be nothing but that in the first hour. Ugh.
No. Somebody was trying to get me to do a joke with Middlestat.
I saw that this morning.
I got an email from someone. I'm like, yeah,
I saw that.
I got to workshop that one. I got to take it out of town, a couple of open mics, see if I can get it to work there, and then I'll bring it on the air.
Oh, good.
All right. Some NFL news from yesterday. We'll get to that next after the headlines here on a Fredless Wednesday morning on Toucher and Hardy. Hold on.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Jeremy Swayman made 34 saves in net. Bruins have won 11 straight home games after outlasting Pittsburgh 2-1 last night at TD Garden. They're in Nashville tomorrow night. Celtics play Charlotte at the Garden this evening. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jason Tatum still out for the Green. As for the Red Sox, they lost to the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team in Fort Myers last night 5-3. They host the Yankees in Fort Myers today. The USA World Baseball Classic team got a 2-run homer from Roman Anthony. They beat San Francisco 15-1 in Arizona, and the Jets have placed a franchise tag on running back Breece Hall. Indianapolis has placed a transition tag on Daniel Jones. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Prolotherapy. Don't let joint pain keep you off the court, course, or trail. Eliminate that pain with Dr. Frankie of Boston Prolotherapy. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Big on flavor, big on comfort, and big on value. The 99 Restaurant's $14.99 Big Deal meals are now available every day, all day. So hurry in today or any day for our roasted turkey dinner. You gotta love the Nines.
Countertops installed in one day? Yes, they do. For your free estimate, call Bill Shea's Countertops in Quincy. Yep, that Bill Shea.
Gotta go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
It's Toucher and Hardy without Fred this morning, who is home ill, where he should be and needs to be. Nobody wants what he's got. Fred not here, and I'm sure would have thoughts on one of the franchise tags that was levied yesterday. But, John, what happened yesterday in the NFL?
There's old news. There's Kyle Pitts, who got the franchise tag from Atlanta. There's George Pickens, who got the franchise tag from Dallas. We knew about that yesterday. The deadline of 4 p.m. came and went for NFL teams to hand out either franchise or transition tags. The Jets gave the franchise tag to running back Breece Hall. The more interesting story is in Indianapolis, where the Colts gave the transition tag to quarterback Daniel Jones. What that means is if Jones signs this tag, he'll make $33, $34, $35 million for 1 year.
I think it's like 38.
For 1 year. And but another team can come in and match that deal. Indianapolis has the opportunity to either or sign him to a deal.
Yeah.
Indianapolis has the opportunity to match, but if they don't match, they get no draft pick compensation.
Yeah, it is the ultimate half measure.
Yes,
for a team which is why the transition tag, I guess, is so rarely used. I mean, do you want him or not? Are you going to pay him or not? It's a very wishy-washy way of going about things, and I kind of don't blame the Colts because that's how I feel about Daniel Jones. I'm very wishy-washy. Like, I don't know what else they're going to do, but how much money do you really want to commit to him?
Well, if he was healthy, they would have committed 40, 50, 55 more, a lot more.
Would you do that for Daniel Jones?
No, but if I'm Indianapolis and I just traded away, stupidly, 2 first-round draft picks for Sauce Gardner, I can't draft a quarterback anytime soon.
Right.
So you're backed into a corner. This is your guy, for better or for worse. And he did have a period of time in the first half of the season that we just completed that he was very, very good. Indianapolis was one of the best teams in the AFC for a while.
Yeah. And it's not quite to the level that I had with the hell. I don't know why I have a block on his name, the quarterback in Houston, where I was telling you guys, why I was telling you that there was something about Stroud's game that I just didn't trust yet.
Right.
When we were heading into the postseason, we're like, oh, I want to play. I said, I'll take on Houston. I'll take Houston in here. Why? C.J. Stroud, for as good as he was as a rookie and as good as he looked early on, there's just something about his game that I don't fully trust yet. Mm-hmm. And I'm still that way with Daniel Jones. And maybe it's just because of where he's played, regardless of how he looked for this last season in Indianapolis, devoting that kind of money to that player, I just can't wrap my head around.
Well, here's the thing that transition tag does as well, and it's just over $37 million. If you now negotiating a contract extension with Daniel Jones, $37 million is the floor. That's right. Where, if I'm Daniel Jones, I'm not taking anything less than that per season. You were prepared to offer me $37 million for 1 year. Why would I take anything less?
Yes.
So it's at least $37 million for a year for a guy who has not been good for the balance of his career, that is coming off a torn Achilles.
Who is guaranteed.
And plays on turf, by the way.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is something that Indianapolis has done to themselves. And the other part of this is, and it's a calculated risk, but I think Indianapolis is going to retain him because if I'm another NFL team, we touched a little bit about this on this yesterday, would I sign Daniel Jones to a 4-year, $160 million contract based on his track record? No, I wouldn't. Even though there are a ton of quarterback needy teams out there.
There's a lot of them, but you're thinking $40 million a year for Daniel Jones. If you're Daniel Jones, no, you wanted the long-term deal, of course. I get it. So he's not thrilled about this, but he's not the person who is most unhappy getting tagged. Do you know I believe who that is? That would be George Pickens.
Yes. A report that the Cowboys are working on a long-term deal for George Pickens.
And that's the right thing to do, and I think they'll get a long-term deal done for him. I just don't see George Pickens being all happy about playing on the franchise tag, and we know when George Pickens isn't happy, that's not a good thing. He was happy last year. He played his best football. It's a great situation for him opposite CeeDee Lamb. And, the Cowboys, they're all in this year.
All right. CeeDee Lamb.
That's Pete Prisco, by the way, from CBS.
CeeDee Lamb is 4 years, $136 million. George Pickens wants something close to that. I mean, I understand the cap is crap for a large amount of teams out there, but you're paying Dak Prescott an amazing amount of money.
Right.
You're paying CeeDee Lamb an amazing amount of money. Can you really afford to pay George Pickens CeeDee Lamb money or something like that, 4 for 120? Which good wide receivers get $30 million a year now. So, can you afford to do that? I'm not sure you can. If you're Dallas and you hope to compete, I mean, Jerry keeps talking about winning a Super Bowl before he dies. Clock's running on him.
Exactly. Also, out in Seattle, John, where you have a great affinity for the city and the people, Kenneth Walker not having the Brinks truck backed up for him. That is the report.
Kenneth Walker is going to be given the opportunity to leave the building. The Seahawks have so many financial areas they need to address. They want to retain some of their other players. There are other free agents they want to add. They have Zach Charbonnet coming off a torn ACL. Kenneth Walker was critical to their success and their Super Bowl run. They're not willing to spend the type of money it would take to keep him there.
That speaks more to how NFL teams look at running backs more than Kenneth Walker himself.
Right.
I mean,
the Seattle looks at how they, how they won this year, and I think in maybe the same way the Patriots would have, or a couple other teams that almost made it there. It's like, well, how did this happen? Did we do it because we had Kenneth Walker and we have the best team and we need to do everything to keep this together, or was it a number of circumstances coming together with other teams not being in the way? And our defense, I guess offensively, how would teams, look at the way things went this year? And I think that's how Seattle's looking at it. And your running back point is an excellent one. This is, league wide right there with kickers. Unless you are a generational type of talent at the running back position, you're not going to get the respect that a lot of fans would think you would get, or a lot of people think you should have, based on performances, because they look at running backs as being, for the most part, if not interchangeable, replaceable.
No, yeah. Either one of those two things. Seattle's like, I understand that we have a low first, second, third round draft pick. We'll just go get a guy in the second or third round. Ramondre Stevenson, third or fourth round draft pick. Travion Henderson wasn't drafted in the first round, high second, but still not drafted in the first round. You can get a guy low in the draft. You can get a guy on day 2, or in some cases day 3. So
run the hell out of him for 3 years and then go get another one.
Go get another guy.
Yeah.
One other thing, getting back to the Colts real quick, because they used a tag on Daniel Jones, they didn't use the tag on wide receiver Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce caught under 50 passes for over 1,000 yards this past season, averaged 23 yards a catch. He is a deep threat. He is a guy that is only 25 years old, will instantly be the number 1 wide receiver on the market starting Monday if the Colts don't sign him to a long-term contract. They have until Monday to do that. And if he goes out on the open market, you can bet the Patriots will chase him.
So Greg Bedard had thoughts on that. We'll get to what Greg had to say about him and someone else he thinks would not be a good fit for the Patriots. We'll do that a little bit later on. But first, we will look back. 1 score and 5 years ago to a list that Adam 12 has put together. You and I will have to determine what the top 25 somethings were from 2001. Not saying what, John. It's going to be a surprise.
It's just breathtaking watching you tease like that. Breathtaking.
Shut. Fred's not here. But John and I are here. Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins scored a 2-1 win over Pittsburgh at TD Garden last night. The Penguins grabbed a 1-0 lead 42 seconds in, but Murat, Hustendorf, and Casey Middlestat scored goals 50 seconds apart after that to give the Bruins the lead, and Jeremy Swayman added 34 saves in net.
It's an identity thing, and I think that we're really rallying around it and understanding that we have confidence in the last 5 minutes of a crucial game, and we got to be comfortable in these kind of tight games, especially down this playoff push. So I'm really proud of the guys, and it's one of those things that you have to keep doing, keep competing.
The Bruins have now won 11 straight home games. They're in Nashville tomorrow night. Celtics had last night off. They're back at work tonight at home against Charlotte. Jason Tatum remains out for the Green. Everyone else is in. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Derek White yesterday voted the Eastern Conference's Defensive Player of the Month for February. Red Sox lost to the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team in Fort Myers last night 5-3. They play the Yankees at JetBlue Park this afternoon. And in NFL news, the Jets placed the franchise tag on running back Breece Hall. Indianapolis placed a transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. Arizona has informed quarterback Kyler Murray he will be released next week. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Deep three, violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
And we're back. Toucher and Hardy.
Gastrointestinal issues, both ends.
Yes,
right?
yeah, both ends.
But he said he was going to be late, but he was going to try and rally. And I immediately texted Fred and I said, "Don't worry about it." In other words, don't come in here. I said, at the least or at the most, if you feel like working, you can do the show from home. But no. There's no need to come in here. There's a lot of things. How many times have you been sick going back to the fall, John? Between colds, flu,
handful.
Yeah, I think I'm at 3. You know, like
4 or 5 times, but
one cold, one flu, one undetermined.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, but the thing to remember is that flu you were talking about. All of us, the 3 of us, had at least a piece of it at one point.
Yeah,
for long periods of time, for a week, 10 days, it was bad.
But as bad as it is, will you take 10 days of that, or do you want 24 hours of being in the bathroom?
10 days of that.
I'll take 10 days of that. I'm with you.
10 days of that.
That's fine. So Fred's not with us this morning, but he is missing out on a fantastic exercise that will examine the top 25 from 2001, Adam?
The top 25 best movies of 2001. This is according to the music and film and TV source Consequence.
Okay, I like the Consequence list.
I like the Consequence list too, but it's important to know because if this was from Rolling Stone, it would have a much different flavor. Or if it was from
so there's no trying to be
IMDb.
cute here. It's actual good movies and nothing obscure.
No, not necessarily. Movies that you will know, but certainly not. Let me put it to you this way: the number one movie will not be what you would consider the number one movie.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right.
But we'll hop around the
so
list.
These now this is not the top grossing, the best performing. These are what they consider
this is
to be
opinion.
the
Yes.
best movies.
Yes,
All right,
this is what they consider to be the best movies of 2001. Now, again, the ones that I am giving you are films that, for the most part, you will know, but again, it is not about grossing. It is not about, it's about the particular.
The qualitative analysis. Sure. I got it. All right.
Well, I'll give you. All right. So we'll start the exercise with the 25th movie on the list, which featured the lead in this film actually. Really became famous later in that decade for his role as the Joker, but he was a medieval fellow in this particular song.
This
is
particular
movie.
Okay, so
2001.
this is Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger in some kind of a night.
A Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale.
There we go.
That is number 25.
I did not see A Knight's Tale.
I lasted maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then decided to turn it off. I didn't see it in the theater. I'm talking about like on television. Oh, there it is. Okay. No, it's fine.
This is not my benchmark. This is something I heard years ago, which I think holds true for 90% of the films, I'd say, which incorporate this. if people are writing with a quill, I don't want to watch it.
Got it.
And they're probably writing with a quill in
Yes.
this movie if
Yes.
they're writing anything down.
This is 14th century, a lot of jousting. You got to be a Ren Fair type.
If you're sitting at a desk
nice
with a
tail.
feather in your hand, I'm not interested in your movie.
Well, you got to remain true to the jousting. It's very important. You need jousting.
All right.
Let's go to number 24. So I'm going to give you a bunch of the cast of this film. I'm going to tell you that Antonio Banderas was in it. I'm going to tell you that Carla, Gugino was in it. Gugino. Alan Cumming is in this film. Terry Hatcher is in this film. But they are not the stars of this film. You see, this is a film that features child stars alongside all of those stars.
I have no idea.
It is the first film. It is not an animated film. It was a live-action film featuring child stars that kicked off a franchise of films. It had to do with children who were sneaking around and getting up
Spy
to
Babies.
There, you're close. Spy what?
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids is the name of the film on the consequence list.
Come
of
on.
the best movies of 2001.
Okay. Well, Banderas has done animated stuff, though, correct? I'm not that far off.
I mean, isn't he the voice of Puss in Boots?
Yeah, I
the
think
guitar?
that's what I was thinking
the
of.
cartoon, rather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, this is a layup. 2001 at number 23. Feuding male models.
Zoolander.
Zoolander is absolutely
Also,
right. We have the staring contest.
Never saw it.
Neither did I.
I've never sat.
No,
through
I haven't seen it either.
So here's my issue. I think Ben Stiller is a very talented guy, and I like a lot of stuff that he's done. What was the prison series that he did, where he directed it and produced it, and it's a true story about two guys who are trying to break out of prison, and they do so by engaging in a romantic relationship with one of the guards. This woman who helps him escape.
I don't know that one.
Okay, it's very good. But whenever Ben Stiller is camping it up, I like as in Dodgeball or Zoolander, I'm like, no, this seems like vaudevillian or
Far
something.
more. It's interesting you bring that up. Far more misses than hits with Ben Stiller. Far more misses than hits.
Oh, we could do the same exercise I did the other day with Fred when he said that Francis Ford Coppola
Yeah. All right.
made more bad movies.
Well, I mean, he did one movie where he is a rabbi, Edward Norton is a priest, and Jenna Elfman is the love interest between the two of them. I forget what that's called. What's the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman where it's that famous basketball, Rain Man scene? Which one is that?
Is that Along Came Polly?
It could be Along Came Polly. I'm not a big fan of that either.
That's okay, because if he's playing himself, for the most part, or just doing it, like I even like The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I liked that film too. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
But if he's like when Ben Stiller shows up in a lot of makeup or a goofy outfit to do your comedic cameo, your movie is in trouble for a couple of minutes. Anchorman. The station versus station brawl.
Yeah.
It's like the aftermath, the scene after is funny when they're like having but that thing.
Yeah.
When Ben Stiller shows up as somebody from Telemundo. No.
So you're not a Mystery Men fan.
No.
That's what you're saying. You don't like him and
You're making my
running
point.
around in there.
Escape at Dannemora is the 7-episode Ben Stiller directed Showtime series based on the escape from a prison in New York.
And you're saying that's good?
It's fantastic.
Okay.
Benicio del Toro is in it. Paul Dano is in it. It's great. Patricia, an unrecognizable Patricia Arquette. It's fantastic.
Don't tell Quentin Tarantino about Paul Dano being in it. He's no fan.
Yeah, he doesn't like
He's
him.
no fan. There, of course,
which is stupid, by the way. Paul Dano, the Little Miss Sunshine, was on last night.
You enjoy that one?
And Paul Dano's great in that. He's great in There Will Be Blood. There's Quentin Tarantino is awful.
People didn't like The Batman. I did like The Batman, and I did like Paul Dano as the Riddler in The Batman. I thought it was good.
Fine.
It was a good film.
All right.
Well, we're talking about films from 2001.
All right, go ahead.
John, you had mentioned there being animated films on here. There absolutely is. This should be higher. It's at number 19. This is an animated film that kicked off a whole series of animated films. Think back to where you didn't have your kids yet in 2001.
Can we skip the animated ones?
I mean, we can if you want to. You don't want to go back to Shrek?
No.
Okay.
Oh, Any excuse to play Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Come on now.
You don't want to talk about the Pixar breakthrough that
No.
was Monsters, Inc.?
No.
That landed at number 16.
Oh, thank God.
Movies, not cartoons.
Okay.
Movies.
All right.
You prefer your cartoons in pre-roll for like 10, 15 minutes
I want them
before
for
the movie.
8 minutes at a time, and I want them to have Bugs Bunny in
And then
them.
the
This
victory
is-
roll, and then the full-length feature for 45
This
minutes.
is the Hardy I thought we were going to get when Fred called in sick.
Well, I don't. They were doing top movies, and
That's
you're talking
fair.
about
I don't have any time for this nonsense.
Shrek and frickin' stop it.
Well, thinking about it, too. I mean, okay, so wait, 2001, I'm in Albuquerque. You
I don't
moved on to
care.
Vegas.
Move on.
There you
have
go,
kids
see?
yet, so, yeah, you're not watching any of these movies.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Here's one. I'm going to give you the theme song, or one of the songs that was kind of made big by this movie, and see if you can use your radio acumen.
Yeah, but you don't know
It's
it.
Mad World. No, it's Mad World. I
World,
can't
yes.
think of the movie. I've heard this song before. This is going
Jake
to
Gyllenhaal stars in it. Very surreal, very nightmarish.
Nightcrawler.
No, that's a
No,
good guess, though. It's a good
Jake
good movie,
Gyllenhaal.
too. Yes.
I'm going to miss it. I don't know.
This is Donnie Darko.
Oh, all right.
I never saw that.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I think you'd enjoy that at number
All right.
14. Let's jump up to you don't like animated films. How about a nice musical for you, Hardy, at number 10?
Moulin Rouge, baby.
Moulin Rouge is right. Number 10. I'm guessing, I'm going to go out on a limb, Hardy, and say that you did not see Moulin Rouge when it was in it was in theaters.
So 2001 was, I would say, like a very pivotal year for me.
Okay.
I stopped doing certain things.
Okay.
Was doing a lot of certain things up until
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly when, June 6th, 2001. But let's say leading up to that point, I wasn't spending a lot of time in the movies. And then after that point, for the next, say, 6 months to a year or so, I was spending a lot of time just sitting in rooms, listening to people talk and drinking coffee. Yeah. So, I wasn't at the movies a lot in 2001. That's my excuse for not seeing these in the theater anyway.
Yeah, the music video for this is not very good.
Okay.
The music video for Moulin Rouge, where they tried to dress up Christina Aguilera as a stripper, doesn't sit well. Not good.
Okay, no, but I mean, I've seen a lot of these, a lot of movies like repeatedly afterward, but in the theater,
Right.
not one of these so far.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump up into the top 5.
Okay.
And let's see how many in the top 5, because
All
I
right.
can guarantee, Hardy, that you and probably you, John, have seen the movie that clocks in at number 5 on this 25 best movies of 2001. All these turning 25 this year. So this is the breakthrough feature film of the director, Christopher Nolan. It came out in 2001 and told the story in the film in a very disjointed and unexpected way.
Oh.
And that's part of what made it such a great film.
Okay. Christopher Nolan, and it kind of like skips around timeline
It
wise.
certainly does.
Memento?
That is absolutely right, John
Very
Wallach. Well
good.
done, pulling Memento.
That's 2001.
I rewatched that a few months ago, and
It's fantastic.
Phenomenal film.
Fantastic
Phenomenal
movie.
film.
That's a top 10 all time for me, Memento.
Is it really?
Yes.
Easy. Is it really?
Yes.
I'm not
it's
going to fault you
great.
for that. That's a great movie, and it's infinitely rewatchable because of the
Seriously,
way the story is told.
it's got how many movies have we seen where it's a variation on a? Oh, I've seen this story before, but they
Right.
flipped it over. This is completely original thinking.
All right.
It was awesome.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 4 is the movie that should be number 1 because number 4 kicked off a trilogy of films in the early 2000s that was
Batman Begins.
That is incorrect. This was another box office smash of a trilogy that featured. How do I give a hint without giving it away too much? Actually, this director started making like campy gore films back in the 80s. Broke through with this particular film trilogy in the 2000s.
Is this Lord of the Rings?
It is Lord of the Rings. John Wallach. Well done. Absolutely.
Peter Jacobson did
Peter
Campy-
Jackson.
That's why Peter
Yeah.
Jacobson.
I'm not going to be
Peter
able to
Jackson.
remember the name of the film that was his first, but if you go back into his oeuvre. But yes, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring is number 4 on the 25 best movies of 2001.
There's one franchise I'm hoping you get to. You haven't mentioned it yet.
You're not going to get number 3, so I'm just going to tell you it is a Studio Ghibli movie called Spirited Away, which
Okay.
you probably have not seen.
I
The number 2 and
12. I hope you bring this up.
John, prepare to be pissed because the number 2 and number 1 songs are, movies are ones that I love that I would put at the top of my list and that you guys would slag me for.
So what'd you want? Fast and the Furious?
Damn right I do.
No, they're not going to be the.
That's not going to be.
Didn't make the list at all?
No,
Oh my
not
God!
This one, I'm sorry to say.
That's terrible. Already, I'm discounting this entire list.
The number 2 film is the third film made by one of my favorite directors, who just
Wim Wenders
loves to be so precious with his filmmaking.
Is it Rushmore?
No, that is incorrect. But you got the right director, just the wrong film. What's the one that comes after Rushmore?
Well, then it has to be the Royal Tenenbaums.
It is the Royal Tenenbaums. Very good, Hardy. That is the number 2 film on the Consequence 25 Best Movies of 2001.
Gene Hackman and Royal Tenenbaums.
So
the late Gene Hackman, who did not like it. Gene Hackman, kind of famous for. And whether you like the Royal Tenenbaums or not, I do. I think it's a fun movie to watch. But he thought it was crap, and he also, according to one story I read, pulled Dennis Hopper aside during the making of Hoosiers and said, "I hope you saved your money, pal, because after this piece of crap, our careers are."
Oh my
over.
God!
Wow.
But you got to figure, like, Gene Hackman was like in legit movies in the 70s. Like, he was an actor's actor, and he had made, these brilliant films, and then all of a sudden he's,
a miserable prick
playing a basketball coach. And you watch Hoosiers now, there are some kind of like cheesy scenes, and it's not like cinematically beautiful. It is kind of corny. So
I still love watching it, though.
So do I.
I still love that movie.
So do I. But Hackman thought it was just straight up garbage when they were
That's
making
terrible.
It. Yeah.
Royal Tenenbaums, by the way, proves Hardy's earlier point in this segment about the appearance of Ben Stiller in your film. In this case, they have him running around in a tracksuit as opposed to a costume or.
But at least he's, for the most part, quiet. He doesn't have a lot of lines.
He doesn't have a lot in that one. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so if we fired the Wes Anderson bullet out of the chamber at number 2, that leaves one director. Only one director that could possibly be responsible for the number 1 film of 2001. So see if you can figure out this film. You could sit down and watch 100 times and still not figure out what the hell is going on. It is a feature film made by a gentleman who is famous for his surreal imagery in his films and TV work. And he is my favorite director.
Oh, well, it's the Twin Peaks guy.
It is David Lynch. You've got that part right.
I didn't watch it. I guarantee I did not watch this. Is it the one with the soundtrack that everybody insisted upon?
Yeah, it is.
Lost Highway?
No, that's but it is Mulholland Drive with. Yes, that is according to Consequence the best film to turn 25.
Was it Ocean's 11 in 2001?
That one made the list at number. Give me a moment here to scan it. Number 9. Ocean's 11 came.
So you give us Shrek and you give us Spy Kids.
You don't give us Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11.
I mean, I could have given you Training Day at 11. That's on there.
What are we doing here? Give us a fighting chance.
Shut everyone. We're taking a break. I can't believe what just happened. You actually spent time on Spy Kids, a stupid Mulholland Drive, whatever the hell that movie was. Shrek and all this other crap. You skip over Training Day and Ocean's 11. Do you understand the audience at all?
Shrek's a big hit movie, man. Like
Black Hawk Down, A Beautiful Mind. I'm looking at this list now.
Those didn't make this particular.
The Incredibles. I know you don't like the animated movies.
I'm actually sitting here kind of stunned at how awful you were at that list, 12.
I can only work with what I have.
How much but you could have. We could have sat here and talked about Training Day and Ocean's 11, and instead you gave us clues about Spy Kids and Shrek.
Well, those are hit movies.
That's not the point.
I really dislike you right now.
That's not the point, 12. Isn't the point to generate discussion?
Actually, the point's to get us to 724, and look at that. We did it.
Dan Roach will join us next. Even he would be pissed off about this.
Toucher and Hardy will be right back on the Sports Hub.
Moving your home or business? Avoid the headache, time, and uncertainty of hiring just any mover. Do what
left on the first run of the game as he drives in Meyer to make it 5-1.
It is Toucher and Hardy. Fred is out sick today. Was attempting to come in, but based on his symptoms, we said no thank you. You keep all that at home in your bathroom. So instead, it's me, Wallach, and now Dan Roach from WBZ-TV. Did you like how I enunciated W, Dan? That is old school. That is old school broadcasting right there.
It was very nicely done, Hardy. That's what you're great at. You're so versatile. That's the nice part.
No, I'm in pretty one lane here, and a radio guy.
It's an all-positive day, baby. It's an all-positive day.
No, you got that right, Johnny. It's a great time of year, fellas. We can talk about anything. We can talk Olympic gold medalists in hockey. We can talk high school sports, Andover High boys and girls, both with big basketball wins last night. We can talk the colleges gearing up for March Madness, Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, Pats, Revs, whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about.
Where are we going to start, Hardy?
Let's not bury the...
Where are we starting?
Let's not bury the lead.
Oh, and congrats, Hardy, on the golf show.
Dan, you have been on the Sports Hub Golf Club before.
Yeah, it was an honor.
What'd you guys talk about?
Golf.
Talked about how I learned to chip in my backyard.
Huh. Yeah, we talked about all kinds of stuff. You know, swinging the wrenches. That's what it is. You know what I originally wanted to call that show, and they wouldn't let me? I wanted to call it Putts from the Rough, and they would not allow that.
Odd.
Yeah.
Odd they wouldn't let you get away with that.
So
when I did one in the 80s or the early 90s, it was called Tee to Green. That was the name of it.
How long did you do it for?
2 years, maybe.
Did it seem like a long time to do it for 2 years?
No, I enjoyed it thoroughly. And you know what I did?
Talk to me after 13.
I brought I brought a Club Pro in with me every week.
Every week you had a different guest?
Yeah, the show was like 2 to 3 hours, and we'd take phone calls, and it was perfect because Sunday morning, you know, people call in and just say they're going to, golf courses and things like that. So we would talk golf.
Dan has done a lot of shows like this. I remember Dan every Thanksgiving morning would do like 3 hours on Thanksgiving high school football.
Well, again, not to bury the lead here, before we start talking Red Sox and the World Baseball Classic and the Olympics, tell me more about what the Andover boys and girls did last night. I mean, you say they won, but I want the whole story.
Well, Coach Abino on the ladies' side is he's relatively new. I think maybe this is like his 10th year, but Coach Fazio is the guy we're all rooting for, Hardy. Dave Fazio. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's in the high school coaches Hall of Fame. He's won over 500 games.
How did they get him? How did they get him there?
Just needs that elusive state title.
Yeah.
Well, he started Central Catholic, then he went to Salem State. You know who he played for at Salem State? Who his first coach was?
The James Naismith.
Tom Thibodeau. So, yeah, he got an up-and-close tutorial from Tibbs, and he's been a fixture at Andover High. He runs Hoop Town, which is a great program for kids every summer.
Yes.
And I just wanted to get that elusive state championship on the guys' side.
Keeping them off the mean streets of Andover. You got to have some place for them to go in this summer.
I dislike you intensely. I just want you to know right now, that's how I feel.
All right, why don't you and Johnny get into the small ball here and start talking about your baseball and what was going on yesterday. John actually watched that game yesterday.
I did. I watched some of the Team USA San Francisco game, Danny. It was just interesting to watch such an all-star lineup. You know, Witt, Harper, Judge, Schwarber, Bregman, Cal Raleigh, who hit 60 home runs, hit sixth, and you had Roman Anthony all in a row. It was at least a curiosity for you, right?
Well, yeah, and the cool thing is to watch, again, Roman Anthony. We've talked about this time and time again, is just to see that, you know, the bigger the spotlight, the better he seems to play, which is a great sign as the next franchise player on this Red Sox team. And he had won about 500 feet in that game yesterday. So, yeah, it's exciting to watch all these players. I'm excited for the World Baseball Classic to start. It starts later on tonight, I think. Chinese Taipei and Australia in the D pool play. And I'm excited about seeing all these guys go perform. Whitlock from the Red Sox is on the USA staff. There's about 10 Red Sox players scattered throughout all the different teams. And the depressing part for me, I don't know how you guys feel, is to still the one that got away. The Bregman one's going to bother me for a bit, at least until we get going in this season. It's still, he had a home run yesterday, and it just like he would have been perfect for this Red Sox team with what they have, where they are, and where they want to go.
Yeah, that seems to make a lot of sense, especially now that you've got your rotation, set to go. You're having arguments about who your fifth guy is going to be. That's a wonderful problem to have. What about the offense? Oh, Bregman, you had him here. No, that's not going to work.
Did you see the photograph of the exhibition game between San Francisco and Chicago? And you see Devers and Bregman shaking hands with big smiles on their faces before the game.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Not good.
That's depressing for Red Sox fans. I still think they'll be good, though. I think they have a chance to put up a lot of runs, because their lineup is deep. But Bregman would have been perfect in that 2-hole. Instead, you got either Chase Durbin or Trevor Story, depending upon how they go and how they look. But it would have been, again, the would have beens, could have beens are kind of tough for Red Sox fans to take, especially to me, the Bregman one more so because he was right there, wanted to be here, and all you had to do was budge a little bit, whatever you needed to do to get a deal done. And you're sitting here without him. So, but again, I'm ready to move on. I'm looking forward to opening day is 3 weeks from tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that. So a lot going on. It's great.
Okay. In terms of the World Baseball Classic, though, Dan, does it lose a little juice because, you have, a championship country in Japan that is not really fielding their best and brightest in all positions? Does that take away a little bit of the juice of the World Baseball Classic?
No, it's kind of how it is, right? So for years you couldn't see the best of the Cuban team whenever they would play in the United States or teams from the United States. So it's just part of it. It's a huge field. I think there's 20 teams that are now in it. So you get to see different teams play and everything else. And I like it. And I heard Fred griping about it yesterday. You know what? If you don't like it or you don't want to be part, don't watch, right? I think this is just one of those things that's fit for baseball fans. It's an early look at baseball. And it's intense. These guys get into it. They play. They love it. They've watched the Dominican Republic. If you watched the Team Puerto Rico last night in the exhibition game at JetBlue Park, there were mostly Puerto Rico fans there. They were hooting and hollering, playing horns and everything else the entire game. So I think it's great. I think it's great for the game. And it comes every 3 years now. I think they do it right. And I'm looking forward to watching as much as I can.
It surprises me that you would like something to that extent. Oh, that's
you know what? And I don't care
shocking.
that you feel that way, Hardy. Like, it's just, I'm tired of this world just trying to bring me down,
right.
With social media and everything.
Right.
Like, I'm waking up, I'm happy, I'm whistling, and things are good. So life is good.
Well, here's the problem, and this is something Fred. All right. Here's the problem. We just came off watching the U.S. Olympic hockey team in that tournament, and you had guys who were in mid-season form playing at their very best, an incredible high level of the sport. Here, yes, you have the international feel, but you got guys ramping up. Guys that can only throw, like Tarek Skubal's going to pitch against Great Britain later this week, but he's only going to throw 55 pitches and go right back to Detroit because he's in a contract year. That's the problem here. You have great players, but they're not in midseason form. There's this extra kind of layer to it. That's the problem I have with this tournament. Now, there's no good time to have this tournament. You're not going to stop the Major League Baseball season for 3 weeks in the middle, nor are you going to get these guys to play after 162 games are over. So I don't know what you do about it. I understand why Major League Baseball wants it, but it takes a backseat to hockey for that reason.
Yes, it does. Coming off the Olympics especially, because that's when you notice more so than anything with the NHL playing in those Olympic games. But I think, Johnny, it's just one of those things. If you're a baseball fan and you love the game, I think you accept it for what it is. I think you accept it for the pitching staffs being, 16 to 20 deep because you don't want anyone to get hurt. I think you accept that and you kind of move on and just enjoy the games because there's still good games. Remember we had that Trout and Ohtani battle, 3 years ago in the championship game? So
that was great.
It leaves you with things like that. So if you want to watch as much as you want. It's kind of like the Olympics. You can watch 24/7 curling if you want. You can watch the Olympic. I focused on the hockey, the men and the women, and you just get out of it what you put into it. It's kind of like life. So it's if you want to watch.
That's a lesson right there.
Let's try and keep the life lessons to a minimum. But I do agree with you, Dan, and at the risk of sounding too much like you, I think it is the perfect product for watching as much as you want. And your analogy to the Olympics is a great one. I didn't watch a ton of the lead-up games. I watched them once they, got to the medal round. But that gold medal game for the men was one of the best hockey games I've watched in the last 5 years. I mean, you're watching obviously just a huge amount of talent on the ice, but watching them play for something. Now, at the end, and I agree with you, there was a lot on the line for the teams in that final showdown between Trout and Ohtani. That was awesome. Just as long as the full competitive spirit is in there, because otherwise it leaves you kind of wanting for a little bit more. And maybe toward the end it gets a little more like that between the teams that are left.
Yeah, and I think it's the diehards, right? I think it's for the Dominican Republic. They have a stacked team. And those fans in that country, will get the most out of it. And, there's other teams that like here, how is that guy playing for Italy and things like that because of their mother and, or wherever their birth, where their mom's from or where their dad's from. But beyond that, though, it's just once they get into that final out of pool play and into the final competition, it becomes real. It becomes, they go at it pretty good. So, again, I think you get great confrontations. And I think we all agree that all-star games are tough to watch nowadays, but the one that's still good is baseball. It's because you get that confrontation. You get that Trout versus Ohtani. You don't get that in any other sport when you watch all-star games. You get some goaltender, one-on-one, things like that, maybe a shootout or breakaway. But in baseball, you can't help but not get ramped up as a player, either side, in certain situations. And that's the best part of baseball to me, is that confrontation word that you get in certain situations. And you'll get this here. There's no question about it. As they go on, as the stakes get bigger, you'll get it here. And it means a lot to each of these countries. They get a chance to showcase their country. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
All right, I want to ask Dan two things kind of here selfishly. Number one, do you know much about the NECBL?
The Collegiate Baseball League?
Yes.
Not as much as I should. I just don't have time. Why? What do we need to know?
Well, my very good friend from Michigan, his son is going to be playing this summer.
What team?
One of the ones in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
The teams like the Bristol Blues and the Danbury Westerners and the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. So he's going to be bopping around. All right, you don't know much about that.
Oh, that'll be fun though. That's like the Sharks. I see. You see the Sharks because of their logo and things like that. And it's good for them. It's a chance for the college kids to play. It's not at the level of the Cape League,
right?
But it's great for them to keep competition going during the summer. Better.
His former coach at Eastern Michigan is a guy by the name of Robbie Britt. Do you know who Robbie Britt is now with the Red Sox organization?
No, what's he doing?
He is joined the Red Sox as field coordinator. And my question to you, Dan Roach, is what is a field coordinator?
He gets out there in the morning and says, you go to that field, you go to that field, you go to that field.
See, I didn't know. Fred didn't know. And when I asked my buddy, who's, and I had met this coach, I was, there for a couple of Eastern Michigan games and played in their golf tournament last fall. I said, oh, the coach is leaving. He's going to be field coordinator with the Red Sox. What is that? And he said, I don't know. But I think it has more to do with player development than anything else.
Yeah, is it the overall organization? Is it running the Fort Myers complex? Is it, there's different things that they can do. But if it's a overall field coordinator, then I think it's just making sure that each franchise or each team,
he's replacing Andrew Wright, who departed the Red Sox to join the Nationals. Whatever. He is the organization's field coordinator now for the Boston Red Sox. That's all.
I think you just put them all out there, and we're doing these drills here, this drill here. Who has this field? Who has that field? Coaches and everything else, lining everything up. Basically, I think.
All right.
It's a coordinator.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Dan, you have something charitable that you wanted to share with us?
Oh no, I didn't need to share it. It's like.
Well, Dan, now that we brought it up, do you mind doing it?
No, it's called the Barefoot Challenge. It's named after the Babson president of 1966. And it's a 3-day event that wraps up today, and it just raises funds for the individual athletic teams. And if you'd like to click on to the BabsonAthletics.com website and find the Barefoot Challenge and search the softball team, you may want to donate for a certain head coach in our program.
Yeah, well, I did it yesterday. Fred immediately went on after I donated a few dollars more and pointed that out to everybody on our team.
What's the top bid so I can outdo both of you?
I don't know.
$10,000.
Excellent. I'm on it.
I gave $9,000. Fred gave $10,000.
Fantastic. Good for both of you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why is it what's with the barefoot?
That was just the name of the president. I think a lot of people are like, ooh, do I have to take my shoes off or something? Do I have to walk on fire or coal or something like that? No, it was the name. Brian Barefoot was the president of of Babson College in 1966, so it's in honor of him and his family, I believe.
Okay. I don't, because I don't do the barefoot stuff.
Yeah,
even in the
but it
house.
goes towards like their spring training trips coming up. All these teams open up in the spring. All these baseball and softball teams around here, especially this year, is going to be tough getting their seasons in, but they're going to open up down in Florida, so that pays for that trip, things like that.
Okay, excellent stuff. So what's the website again there, Dan?
It's babsonathletics.com.
Okay.
And search out the Barefoot Challenge, search out the softball team, and
Right.
it'd be much
A
appreciated.
couple of drop-down menus there, but make sure it's going to the softball fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right, thanks.
That's nice of you guys.
Yeah, of course, Dan.
And can I say one last thing?
You can say 9 more things. Go ahead.
I heard you guys talking yesterday. I think when it comes to the Patriots, right? Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think Vrabel has talked about having competition, right? And so when you're talking offensive line, when you're talking different positions and everything else, who's going to play where, I think what Vrabel wants to do is just draft and free agents and create competition. And may the best man win. If he brings in a right tackle, he'll compete against Morgan Moses or compete against Will Campbell if he has to, what have you. And I think that's what Vrabel's just trying to keep going and get better and better by creating competition at each and every single position.
I'm sure that's it. He's wasting a bunch of draft picks just to inspire guys that are going to play anyway. It has nothing to do with these guys may not be equipped to actually play the position at the highest level.
No, I'm not saying that either, Hardy,
absolutely.
But I think, you want
I'm
the
sure
best
that's
man
what
to
he's
win.
doing. Yeah.
Well, the other part of this, Dan, is if you draft someone in the first round, you don't want him to compete for a job. You want him to play right away, correct?
Well, yeah, but we also didn't know last year, did we know that Jared Wilson was going to start at left guard? You know what I mean?
But he wasn't a first-round draft pick. That's the point.
Right. But I mean, you project your first-round draft pick to start, but they don't necessarily have to start if they're not good enough yet. That's what I mean. I just mean they want to get better and better at every position. So if you find somebody better than Will Campbell, if you find somebody better than
Will
Morgan
Campbell's
Moses,
the left tackle. They already said that.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I
right.
just like the conversation because I think that's the theme that people are forgetting about when it comes to free agency and the draft. It's about competing and getting your team better and better and better, which is what we've seen from Vrabel. That's been the refreshing part.
Yeah, Hardy.
Okay, I don't know if I totally agree with that, but we're out of time. Dan, thank you so much.
Well, we agree to disagree there, Robert.
I don't know what to do. I really
Guess where I'm going in a couple of weeks?
Disney.
The most magical place on earth, fellas, and I'm going to ooze it in.
I'm just so happy the YouTube audience got a look at that look that you just got, Dan. That was fantastic.
We got to go. Love you, Dan. Thank you so much.
Now, fellas.
Got to go. Bye.
See you, Danny.
All right, we'll return here in a moment on Toucher and Hardy.
I'm tired of this world just trying to bring me down. I'm waking up, I'm happy, I'm whistling, things are good.
It's Dan Roach, who surprisingly is happy, number one. Opening day 3 weeks away, and also, surprisingly, going to Disney here in a couple of weeks. Shocking. The email segment, of course, will be happening, and it's normally appointed time, but I got an email here from Mike who said, watching the show, and as a business owner, I'm 100% with you. I tell people if you have a head cold / chest cold, get your ass in the office. You have a stomach issue, don't bring that into my office. I fear it worse than plague or Ebola. I also make an edict the week before I'm scheduled for vacation. If anyone gets sick with a stomach issue, or if anyone gets me sick with a stomach issue before vacation, I'm firing that employee and fighting their unemployment.
I like this guy.
Yeah. So that is from Mike, and it's not all that bad. But when it came to Fred this morning, checking in with us, waking up with said issues, and seeing what condition his condition was in, we said, absolutely not. Should you feel compelled to come in here,
right,
with your both ends issue? No. You just leave that at home.
We are not exactly in the business of fighting illnesses off working this shift.
No. That's absolutely fine with that. And I do hope for Fred and everyone else's sake that it is a fast-moving foodborne illness of some kind.
Yes.
Yeah, just a little food poisoning, Got a hold of a bad clam, something.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Not good for him at this point, but good, quick-moving, not lengthy, 48, 72 hour.
Is there a food that you got sick either from or got sick after you had last consumed it, maybe not because of the food, that you can no longer eat?
Yes, clams is one of them. I very rarely have that anymore after getting sick in college on that. What else did I have? I remember I can handle spicy food, but I remember I had something with jalapenos in it, and I got violently ill, and now I will not.
No more jalapenos.
Yes.
Split pea soup, which I used to enjoy. I like peas, and I like a nice ham and split pea soup. And I think I was sick from what one of the kids brought home, but the last thing I had eaten was split pea soup, and that was 10 years ago. And I used to. It wasn't like a once a week thing, but a couple times a year, Marcy makes split pea soup. I said, she's fine. It's not like she loves to make it, but there's no way.
Isn't that what they used to for the vomit in The Exorcist? Wasn't that the trick behind it? Was split pea soup?
Probably.
That's interesting.
True.
Yeah,
I remember reading that. Yeah,
that works.
I've dodged the bullet. I've been lucky. I don't have a food that I made me ill that I now need to avoid. I remember one time eating a big meal at, you remember Lucky Boy in Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't the food. I think I just overindulged because Lucky Boy was a Chinese food restaurant that would also sell you a green chili cheeseburger.
Albuquerque known for its Chinese food.
Yes.
It is a mecca.
I had
Chinese
the
cuisine.
General Ga's for lunch and chased that with the green chili cheeseburger. And I just think that was maybe a little too much for my stomach.
There is a certain restaurant in Bedford, Massachusetts that serves that kind of food, and I remember getting food poisoning from said restaurant, and I used to love to go there, and I lived for about 10 years near it and never went back. It was like, nope, not going there. I remember I was in the bathroom for about 4 days.
There was a Chinese buffet in Brighton that was a favorite of mine and Robbie Roadsteamer's. And we would go there frequently before he would come on my night show. We'd go grab some an early dinner over at this place. And the last time I went there was as we were leaving. We saw a seagull fighting a rat over some raw chicken in the parking lot, and this was in the daylight hours.
Yeah.
So I said,
boy.
you know what?
I know. Let's go.
It wasn't in the
somewhere.
kitchen.
No.
But one can easily make the connection.
No, that's not a good visual.
Why is there raw chicken just out here in the parking lot
Ah.
and the rat and the seagull fighting over it? We never went to that buffet again.
Oh.
It was just a shame. We have many fine meals
Yeah,
there.
well, he worked it into at least one of his songs.
Yeah,
back in the day, Robbie did. Yeah.
If they're still in a business entity of some kind, I don't want to name them.
Naturally.
Yeah, of course, because once again, many fine meals there and at an affordable price. As I was picking up the check.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, now Robbie's flush. He should be able to pay for a few meals for you.
Well, he's, business is good. Getting arrested by ICE, he's doing all right. Robbie's out there. He's performing all over the place. Chris Forsberg, I just saw him walk into the studio, which means he is here and ready to go. He will be joining us next here on Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins lead is now 3 points for the final playoff spot in the East after a 2-1 home win over Pittsburgh last night. Jeremy Swayman made 34 saves in net behind defenseman Andrew Peeke.
Yeah, no, it was crucial, obviously, here at home ice, but Pittsburgh's one of the best teams in the league in the first is kind of the report we got, so we obviously needed to be ready, and, we felt good. Obviously, had a couple chances, and Sway, locked it down for us.
Both Murat Hustadinov and Casey Middlestat scored goals in the win. The Bruins have won 11 straight games in their own building. They hit the road to play Nashville tomorrow night. Celtics welcome the red-hot Charlotte Hornets to TD Garden this evening. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Hornets beat Dallas by 27 points last night. They entered this one with 5 straight wins and 15 in their last 18 games overall. Jason Tatum is still out for the Green. Red Sox lost to the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team in Fort Myers last night 5-3. They play the Yankees at JetBlue Park this afternoon. Roman Anthony, a 2-run homer. The USA World Baseball Classic team beat San Francisco 15-1 yesterday. And in NFL news, the Jets have placed a franchise tag on running back Breece Hall. Indianapolis has placed a transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the roasted turkey dinner. All Big Deal Meals are now available all day, every day for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Are you actually coaching the game, or it's just
that is? I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports Hub.
IYKYK, which obviously YD. Okay?
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Man, it's impressive. His ability to rebound is truly impressive. It's a really good skill of his, and he buys into it. And
you and Caleb Burton were getting ready for the Celtics pregame. We had a brief crossover there.
You get to see the 3 minutes where the set flips from early edition to pregame live, and there's a lot of moving cameras and desks. And I feel bad because I always want to sit and talk golf and hang out for a bit, but
there's like no time. But it is cool in there. I brought my son, and the only time I think he's ever cared to go to work with me because radio, who cares? But I brought him into NBC Sports Boston a couple of times ago, just so he could see like all the the booms and the robotic cameras and stuff going on in there. That's an impressive place you work there, Chris.
I will tell you this, so we moved into that building, I think it was like a month before the pandemic, and we're all like, yeah, look at this is going to be great. And then we're on Zoom for 2.5 years. Yeah,
exactly.
And, I still pinch myself because it's like we have obviously multiple stations in there, but it's a beautiful building. And, it's fun. Like I said, I wish when you came over, I wish there was like 10 minutes between the programming so I could be like, let me show you around. I don't know what I would show you.
Well,
but
we spent a couple of weeks there doing our midday show from NBC Sports. So that was
during the pandemic.
Nah, it was toward the end of it. It was like 2022. I think when we were moving over into this building.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's right.
So yeah, that's how you can judge. So we've been over here in Waltham now for coming up on 4 years because the crossover is taking place, and when they were hauling all the equipment from Dorchester over here. We did our show there.
Have you had a favorite building? And you can lie. You can just say it's if you're legally required to say it's this building.
This one's the best for me. I like this one far and away.
Commute-wise?
Oh, easily. Yeah. Just for the commute alone.
It's a great building, yeah. Sure, here.
So you guys were on Morrissey Boulevard for
underground parking. I'm not underground, but garage parking. It's fantastic.
I would say Morrissey probably is third. In terms of getting in and out.
Oh, that stupid circle. Is that circle still there? Where you had to I don't even know. I've not been over there. But
yeah, Morrissey Boat. That circle just off of 93. Yeah. You talking about that
There's
one?
There's a freaking drawbridge over there that you had to contend with every once in a while.
That is true.
Get nails in your tires. I mean, I had a belt buckle attached to my tire one day leaving the parking lot. It was bad.
So after when I was a freshman at Northeastern, they don't guarantee housing after your first year. There's such limited housing. So they told us, you should explore, see if there's some space. So me and I lived in a bunch of engineers. One of my childhood friends who I was rooming with for my freshman year was an engineer. Him and a bunch of buddies were like, let's just go find a house, off campus and we'll live there. So we ended up in Harbor Point in Dorchester.
Okay.
Which is like right next to UMass Boston.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a rough, when Fred talks about Clark University and Worcester being a rough neighborhood, I'm like, well, come hang out over there. And but then I got the internship at the Globe, and it was wonderful because
it's right across the street.
Right across the street on Morrissey.
Oh, yeah.
But I was perpetually like from going to school and coming back, and I would that same exit off of 93 and dealing with that rotary. And I would tell people from out of state, I'm like, man, I'm so sick of dealing with that rotary, and they're like, what the hell's a rotary?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, traffic circle, whatever you call it. It's just
roundabout. As people call
they
them,
are the dumbest
roundabouts.
things in the world, and I do not know why we do them, and they are literally everywhere.
Do you want to tell me where the dumbest rotary is? I think in anywhere, it is. Let's see.
I'm gonna trump you immediately. So go ahead.
VFW Parkway and the West Roxbury Parkway.
Okay.
And as you're heading kind of like away from West Roxbury and Dedham, going toward like the Newton Brookline area.
Okay.
Up VFW Parkway.
Yep.
And you're crossing over the West Roxbury Parkway. There's a rotary, but there's also a light. And
yes.
Isn't that's what we're trying to avoid, right? Like
the light there, and for people who don't get it or don't care. And look, there is a huge number of people who believe, as I was instructed, that looking left when you enter a rotary is a sign of weakness. Yeah. Okay, and I dealt with them. We had them on campus at Michigan State, so I knew how to navigate them. But I also know you need to yield. If you're on this particular road and you have a green light, people think that means you can just sail into the rotary, and it doesn't mean that. But
pure chaos.
I don't know how to explain to them differently. I'm like, I know you have a green light, but that doesn't mean you can just go. It's so stupid. Like I don't understand why they have that there.
I mean, again, we're by putting the rotary to begin with, we're setting up for disaster. If you ever, it's been slightly modified with the addition of Polar Park in Worcester, but everyone who is in Worcester right now is screaming at their radio when we're talking about roundabouts because Kelly Square is essentially a double roundabout, and it is just pure chaos. Like when you're a young driver in Worcester, it's essentially once you've learned to navigate Kelly Square, you can drive anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's the same deal. Like people just don't understand the rules. The other thing is you come right off of 290 and you're thrust right into this, and there is just businesses everywhere, and now it's all built up, and it's gotten a little bit better. But it is. I every time I try to now that I have a young driver in the house, every time my daughter goes out, I'm like, just go to the next exit up, work your way back. Like, do not navigate the
For years, after you got to the base of Route 2, right next to the Alewife T station, there used to be a rotary there.
Ooh, okay,
Dozens of accidents.
Oh, my God.
Every year, right there. One of the smartest things they did was to take that out and put like 4 traffic lights in there. And there's more traffic, but you feel a lot safer going through there.
Yep,
it was the best thing that, I don't know who's in charge of the Cambridge Planning Committee there. Fantastic idea.
I know you guys are both fans of indoor simulator golf, right?
Yep.
And it's not my favorite. I did join a weekly league this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I want to ask you both what you would do if I were your teammate in this circumstance. Last Thursday night.
Eager.
All right. I had essentially a tin cup moment where the match was pretty much out of hand. It's only a 9-hole match, but we're on the 7th hole. Now, mind you, at this point, I have already made 2 quadruple bogeys on the night. I'm not playing well. I'm not into it, as you kids might be.
Yes.
I don't care.
Does
Right?
your teammate know this?
Oh, my teammate is a saint of a human being, Jimmy Reynolds. He's Canton royalty. Everybody loves him. Okay,
And what is the
everybody
score?
loves Jimmy. And he's infinitely patient with me.
I don't want to throw you off here, but are your quads? Are you playing best score, or so is like he able to carry you?
So there's 3 matches going on in every foursome. There is the team match, which is match play.
Okay.
But there's stroke play between 2 guys. So those 3 matches going on. My stroke play is obviously blown up at this point because I've made 2 quadruple bogeys. Lost balls, the putts won't fall. Putting in the simulator
You had yourself a night. Yes.
Good handicap management, though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's for us.
We go to the 7th hole, and I'm just trying to chew off, pieces of this dog leg over water.
Oh.
I go 3 in the water off the tee. I'm 1 in, 2 out.
Oh, no.
3 in, 4 out. 5 in, 6 out. And I'm just taking the ball and dropping it down. They're like, Hardy, please stop. And I said, nope, now it's a challenge. I end up making a 14, which is really hard to do.
But so my counter argument here is because our league just started this year and handicaps are kind of like all over the place. So you have a bad week, all of a sudden the next week you come in, you're getting strokes. And my team, which is currently in first place, through no talent of our own, because our handicaps were so egregious to start the year, we play against really good golfers. And these poor kids, they smash the ball. Drew and Kevin, I'm so sorry you guys are stuck playing with us every week. And they're like shooting legit -2 on 9 holes.
Yeah.
But we're at -11 because we're getting 2 strokes a hole.
Right.
And so it's finally started to level out a little bit. So now we go on weekends and gas up our handicaps so that they're higher.
Baggers.
No.
See,
I
hate everything about this. But my question to you is, would you? I have a feeling I will not be invited back next season because of my attitude toward.
What is your demeanor as this is happening? Are you still like fun, Hardy to hang out with, or are you just like sulking?
On the golf course, I'm always like, hey, I'm in my pocket, but I'll tend the flag and I'll do this, and I'll just wait and cry in the parking lot by myself
Tending
later.
the flag is also just ridiculous. I hate you pin pullers.
What?
Because you're slowing us all down.
Yeah. Do you want to make more putts?
No. Well, I mean, again, skill level relative. It's not affecting my outcome.
All right, but
it's kind of an odd thing to complain about.
There's no place to like go off and kind of like have a moment to yourself when you're playing indoors.
You're still a better person because if it goes off the rails, and like it would be easy to just go yell in the woods.
Yeah. You really can't do that. My question is, would you invite me back after a display like that?
I mean, unless you pushed one of my children, I'm going to invite you back, Hardy. Like, I want to hang out.
Well, especially if you're going to play against me, I guess.
Yeah, you're the opponents.
You're guaranteed a point in my match.
100% going to bring you back. Yeah, unless you're in like some sort of super competitive league. I think the bigger question is like, your teammate might not want you back.
Oh no, he's absolute prince of a fellow. He's a lamb.
Is there money involved?
Oh yeah. All the time.
That's where things get dicey.
Yeah. So here's the other thing, just to show you how stupid simulator golf is. I make the 2 quads and the 14 on the 7th hole, and I still shot, I think, 53. Because I had like a couple of birdies in there too, and like part of the other holes. It's like
flex.
Well, no, it's just because it's dumb. It's just dumb. I don't know. I'm hitting into the screen. I don't really know where I'm going.
Which technology are you using?
The good stuff.
Is it TrackMan?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the best of the bunch.
Down
at my beloved Raceway, we got 4 new TrackMans that tell you every flaw in your game.
Oh, the go-kart country club you belong to.
Yes, exactly.
With the AstroTurf putting green, that one?
Where you can watch people shoveling snow outside.
I was just going to say the AstroTurf putting green really helps you with your game.
I mean, would you rather not putt at all?
Yes.
As opposed to putting on AstroTurf?
Yes.
I'm with him on this one.
Yes.
This is wild. Like the same thing with the simulator. Like, am I improving my game for the spring? Probably not. But I just like being able to swing, to be able to.
No, that's about having fun.
Learn.
But putting on AstroTurf is. I
don't think it's that different.
I mean, you go to a golf store. And you putt, you take out one of these putters.
You all go somewhere on AstroTurf, you putt on AstroTurf, and then you buy like a $400 putter because you're like, man, that's going to save me. That lab putter.
That's the danger. That's the danger that I've learned to avoid. Hardy and I have had this discussion. I remember taking out one of those Bernhard Langer like pendulum ones.
The
and I'm like, let's try this. And I made like 4 putts in a row at this thing from like 10 feet.
Did you buy it?
No, I did not buy it. I'm like, this was fun for 5 minutes, but I'm going to put that away. I'm not doing that
I don't
again.
know. That could have changed your life. Sometimes sometimes you just got to lean in. I know there's placebo effect with every putter that you ever buy, but yeah, I haven't gone down that road yet.
Listen. If you're in the market for a putter, come over to Hardy's Putter Emporium down in Canton.
What has been the best for you?
I have a stable of putters for you to choose from.
Do you have a? What are you leaning on now?
It doesn't matter.
Scotty Cameron?
Because it'll change. It doesn't matter.
Have you done the lab putter
It'll
yet?
change 3 times. I've tried them.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan.
No, they're fine.
Although if they want to send me one, I will absolutely use it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll try anything.
Sure.
I'll try absolutely anything. All right, Chris, we will devote the rest of our time with you to the Celtics starting now.
Right now.
As the team is still awaiting the return of Jason Tatum. I didn't hear what you and Kayla had to say on Friday night. I believe before you guys came on the air, I had said something like, yeah, I think he's going to be back on Sunday because our early reports going way back to the fall or that it was going to be late February, early March. He was progressing so nicely.
They flexed the
post-surgery.
game to prime time.
Yeah, and everything was looking at Sunday night, and now it's like, nope, it wasn't Sunday, wasn't the next game. It won't be tomorrow night.
Tonight.
Tonight. It already ruled out yesterday. So
Yep.
what's going on?
So, and I keep explaining this. I think the reason I moved because I've been wrong on this all along. I thought maybe there was a chance for February, and in part because all the reports were as he was navigating the rehab, he was looking ahead of schedule, doing everything in his power to put him in position to come back. And I think what we know is, and I've probably repeated this 1,000 times, but he got to probably the February window, and physically he's starting to check all the boxes, and it feels like mentally he just decided, I don't want to come back until I feel like I can be Jason Tatum. And I think that shows a lot of maturity, like in terms of, I think a lot of guys would want to just get back out there and just, okay, I'm cleared to play. Let's just go see how it looks. But from not wanting to disrupt what this team has going on and them offering him a little bit of a luxury to work through the last steps here. And then just Tatum, even in the latest documentary clip there, he's on the table after 40 days and he says, Doc, I'm not coming back to be a role player. And so my whole thing is I think he just mentally wants to be able, once he's back out there, he doesn't want people to be like, wait, that doesn't look like Jason Tatum. He's been compromised. This injury has taken him down a level. And so I think he's just waiting for the moment where he feels like he can be more close to the last time we saw him.
But this seems like this is the toughest step out of all of them.
100%.
I mean,
I totally undervalued it.
By all accounts, he's been physically cleared to play by the team doctors.
Yeah.
The fact that he's playing 5-on-5 full court with his teammates in practice tells you that.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seems to me like if he was going to come back, and I always thought it was going to be this week. I wasn't sure about Sunday. I was almost dead sure it was going to be tonight, and I still think it's going to be Friday night. But this, casts a shadow over all of this. He knows in his mind he needs a ramp-up period to get ready for the playoffs, which is another gear. He needs more than 5 or 10 games to do that. So here we are, 20 games from the finish line. If he's going to do it, it has to be soon.
Yeah, I think that's fair, right? Like, if it's not Friday night, then it's probably can't go too much further out. You start looking ahead, I think 3/14 is the next potential home game that if you wanted to do that.
And just for the matchups that you have after Friday night, you're at Cleveland, you're at San Antonio, you're at Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
I mean, come
that's a brutal week.
That's
a brutal road trip.
If you're trying to, and I don't begrudge him really anything, whether it's the psychological aspect, which people, that'd be the first thing to attack, I guess. Like, oh, I just get out there and play. No, fine, whatever. This is a big injury. It's a big thing to come back from. Physically, I don't think anybody would, try and take him down a peg or two, for not being ready physically. But if you want somewhat of a softish landing spot, you're not going to do it in that stretch of games at Cleveland, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City.
And then all of a sudden, it's 10 or 15 games left in the season.
Right. And I guess that's the hard part that I don't know what the right balance is there. Part of me says, man, you'd really like Jason Tatum out there for that Cleveland, Oklahoma City, San Antonio stretch. The other part is just what Hardy said. Like, do you want to throw him back in there in what would be probably amped up intensity games, like the sort of the last chances here for the Celtics to kind of gauge themselves against their elite contenders? So I don't know. Whatever he decides. Here's my whole thing. It's like, I keep saying this. It's like you're in December, you're a little kid, Christmas is coming, but you don't know how to read a calendar.
All right, real quick.
Just tell me when it's Christmas.
All right, fair enough. But now that we're talking about this, let's workshop this idea. Is there a point of no return? Is there a point where he's waited and waited and waited? He's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready.
I've thought about this.
All of a sudden, okay, there's not enough time for me to get ready. Let's not do this at all.
So I thought about this, and again, it probably sounds like we probably would say this about some players, some situations. like if Jason Tatum ultimately says, I just need till the first week of April to feel myself. I want to wait till then. Are the Celtics really going to be like, no, don't, no, just wait? I think that if Tatum,
well, it's all in Tatum's hands. What I'm saying is, would Tatum ever think that way?
It helps as much time as he can give himself to both shake his own rust and to integrate with a team that is different since he left. It would be helpful. But ultimately, if for whatever reason, whether it was on Tatum, on schedule-wise, whatever the issue was, if he just wanted to keep waiting, there's still a full week off in that play-in week that he'd get plenty of time. Obviously, we know he's practicing with the team now. Like, it's not like he's not getting reps. He's just not getting game reps right now. So I don't know again, because this is all unprecedented, we don't know what the scientific number of games he needs to be the best version of Jason Tatum in the playoffs. But I do know that in order for the Celtics to win a title, they probably need Jason Tatum. So whenever that is, whenever he feels comfortable, and maybe this is all a moot point after Friday night, but yeah, I think every little bit of extra he can get is helpful.
All right, let's step aside here and we'll talk about the remaining games and when Tatum might return. But maybe more importantly, how the team has been playing without Jason Tatum. All with Chris Forsberg here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. beat Milwaukee.
Do you want to talk about the 90s cruise?
I'm getting all types of reports from the 80s cruise.
Oh, that's going on now. That's right.
A handful of people that, I'm on this big text chain now with, all my new friends that I made from the 90s cruise, but a handful of them are on the 80s cruise. No big, downtown Julie Brown. No big deal.
Can bounce between the decades.
Yeah, it's just so what? I'm on a text chain with downtown Julie Brown. Are we friends? Sure. Do I make a big deal of it? Yeah, kind of. I do.
Something to be proud of.
But I guess the biggest coup for the 80s cruise was getting PIL on there. Public Image Limited featuring Johnny Lydon, a.k.a. Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols. Yeah. And one of the guys on this text chain is like, hey, can I get some props here for getting Johnny Rotten to agree to go on a cruise ship and do shows? We're like, yeah, dude, because that seems like a fool's errand. But he managed to do it, and they're out there.
All I want is I have this vision in my head of the 90s cruise coming back in from sea. And then there just being like a line change of all the 90s people leaving, and then like Twisted Sister walking by, going the other way onto the boat. So, it would just be amazing how they change it over and change the decade.
Well, there's more and more crossover, I think, between those. The demographics are not,
who's the headliners on the
different.
80s cruise?
I don't know who the number one actor
is. It like more rockish, or is it more? Here we go.
So Gary Newman.
All right.
Is out there on the 80s.
Yeah,
which is funny because you'd think he'd prefer cars.
Shaka Khan.
Whoa,
I got that one. Forsberg, that was good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Night Ranger.
Yeah, love Night Ranger.
Please tell me Sister Christian's on there.
Loverboy.
Okay.
Wow. DMC of Run DMC.
Right.
Oh my God, this is like a Mike Reese cruise. John Waite.
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Peter Hook and the Light.
No idea.
No idea.
Peter Hook's the bass player from New Order.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Public Image Limited. DJ Jazzy Jeff, who was also on the 90s cruise.
Okay.
His spinning. It's crazy.
Bob Geldof and the Boomtown Rats.
Yep. Geldof was the force behind the We Are the World thing, right?
Yeah. I don't like Mondays. Bob Geldof. Striper. The Romantics.
All right. Well, some good stuff on
who
here.
Famously were approached by Quentin Tarantino. They wanted to use My Sharona for the Bring Out the Gimp scene in Pulp Fiction. And according to legend, they said, this song is all we've got.
Well, no, that's the Knack, though. That's right.
That's right. I'm sorry. That's the Knack. That's the Knack with My Sharona.
Yeah.
They were the ones that Quentin Tarantino wanted to use that song for the Bring Out the Gimp. And they said, we don't have anything else. We don't want it to be associated with this for the rest of our lives. So thank you. No.
Yeah.
Nick Hayward of Haircut 100, Katrina and the Waves.
Yes.
The Plimsolls. Wow. So there you go.
That's a good cruise right there.
Yeah.
I heard John Wade is missing you.
That's completely unnecessary. That's completely unnecessary.
I like that one too.
Your Boston Celtics,
yes,
are playing some amazing basketball without Jason Tatum right now, even without Jaylen Brown. I mean, maybe
I think they're 6-1 now without Jaylen.
I don't know how much you want to put on Doc Rivers and the continued mess that continues to be the Milwaukee Bucks. But if you took that out of the equation, Giannis returning the other night, and Milwaukee getting other players back, still no Tatum, Jaylen Brown getting the night off, you go out there and roll over the Bucks in Milwaukee. I mean, in a game that wasn't really competitive beyond the first quarter?
Not even that. And you have Ugo Gonzalez and Derek White chasing him around.
I mean, it's not like you don't want Tatum back and don't need him back. But if you were to play Chicken Little and say, I don't know if you want to upset the apple cart too much, you could kind of make a case for that based on the way this team has gelled and performed.
You can make a case. I'd swat it immediately. But I do think it's impressive that, I mean, think about it. They had some flight troubles getting out there to de-ice, I think. And so they don't get out of Boston until like 1 a.m. You land in Milwaukee at 3 a.m. So your body clock says 4 a.m. because you're changing time zones. You'd have every right to like really limp through that game. I think it was an end of 5-7. Second night of a back-to-back. Now, Milwaukee did play the night before, but they played in Chicago, which is obviously like a 3-minute flight away. And so, most teams, especially I think there's a lot of veteran teams that would just kind of mentally check out and get rolled. And I'll admit, like, knowing Giannis was coming back, I'm like, man, that's a little boost for them. And Milwaukee's got to do something if they're going to even just be a play-in team. For the Celtics to go out there and just absolutely dominate in terms of energy and hustle. I mean, think about it too. Like, Nemi had his best game of his career the night before and doesn't play in this game. Now you're throwing Vooch out there, who is not an elite defender, to kind of help tackle Giannis at least on the back line. But it's Ugo's energy. It's Derek White just being so good at everything, and finding a way. Like, all these guys just with opportunity. And probably knowing, like, when Tatum comes back, Ugo and Baylor and Jordan are not going to play as much, but they go out there and they're awesome. And Ron Harper Jr. comes off the bench and he does good things. It's like I'm just so impressed by the ability of everybody to stay ready on this group. It's like, it's something people say all the time, like, stay ready for your opportunity, all this, but like, Joe has legitimately got it from 1 to 14. They are ready, and it doesn't matter. They pull guys off of 10 days and they're ready to play.
Is it just as simple as Joe being an excellent head coach that gets these guys to play hard every night? Or is it untapped talent that they somehow found at the bottom of the first round in Ugo Gonzalez and Shireman and Pritchard and all these guys that were so far out of the lottery?
So a little bit of both, right? Because, so roll it back. I always say this. I vividly remember coming out of Joe's first year, and obviously that was a little bit of a disaster anyway. Like, his coach gets thrown into it with Ime's coaching staff. Obviously high expectations, got to figure it out coming off the run to the finals. And one of the things he said after that year was that he didn't do a great job maybe being staying in lock with the guys at the end of the bench, right? Like, and that's understandable. You have all this pressure to be successful, and so you're focused on the core talent and the 7 guys or 8 guys you lean on each night. And he maybe didn't nurture the groups that the end of the bench guys that he was so locked in with for much of his coaching tenure. And so we got back to that, whether it was the championship season, but especially now, it feels like he coaches them all the same way. He coaches them hard. And again, I think there's like, it matters. Like, now those guys know he's invested in them. They stay ready to go back out there. The Celtics player development overall has been just off the charts the last few years, in something like pretty much since Derek White arrived. I remember Brad saying, like, that's got to be a priority for us, from their center development to like just nurturing the young wings. It all goes hand in hand. So, like, certainly if you did a redraft right now, Ugo would go way higher than 28th. Like, we did the exercise the other night. I was like, I think I convinced myself he'd be a top 10 guy right now. And, we'll see where that lands. If, like, there's a bunch of guys in the middle there that will be better, but like, based on just his hustle and impact and intensity.
But he's got more opportunity than some of the other guys. So
I don't think he does. Like, that's the thing. He's only playing 15, 16 minutes a night. But if he was on, like, the Brooklyn Nets and he was getting 30 minutes a night, would his plus-minus be as great? No, because it's the difference in talent of talented teams. But he might get 15 rebounds a night if he was playing 30 minutes, 35 minutes a night.
I guess, you're right.
Like, his stat line would pop. Like, he would probably be an all-rookie guy if he was on a bad team. But the flip side of it is he's in a really good situation. He's going to be competing for titles. He's going to be a key piece of however this plays out. I see a lot of shades of Derek White in Ugo in terms of just high basketball IQ, makes all the right plays, but he's still learning. He's still learning, like, how to be disciplined, and once he starts knocking down shots, it's just going to be a whole nother level.
The difference, just real quick, Hardy, the difference is the offense over the last 10 or 15 games, where he's now looking for his shot, weaving his way through people, creating in the lane. That's the biggest difference to me.
He's got that Euro step, man. Like, he gets in the lane, and he's crafty with that.
Yeah, with that travel, that's great.
No, that's Giannis.
I will say this, though, and we can address this briefly in our remaining minute or two here, because Fred is not here to ruin it. I think a lot of credit, as we were just talking, goes to Missoula and the way he's gotten them to play. And I had questions about, the extensions and every time they would talk about Joe being the guy and being the one here, I said, let's see how he does. Let's see how he does not being handed a team that was essentially ready to go with Brown and Tatum in there. And let's
Passed
see.
the test.
Like, unbelievably well.
Yep.
And for, all of his eccentricities.
But that's part of the reason I'm just like, once he leaned into being authentic, and I think we all say this all the time, whatever you do in life, just do it be you. Don't try to be something else because you won't do it to the best of your ability if you don't. And once his players realized like this is just who he is, there was a measure of buy-in that again, if you try to fake it, they're going to see right through you.
Right.
And
being supremely confident about your ideas and philosophies and the way the game is going to be played and whatever he's focusing in on. And we've heard him at different points in the season saying that the rebounding has to be better. Or defensively, these things have to happen. They seem to respond, and he seems to have a way between him and the assistants to coach these guys to get them to do those things.
It's amazing. Like I said, one, we should probably just trust that Brad Stevens knows what he's doing with whether it's personnel or coaches or he's really good at his job. But I mean, I love the way Joe is just. You knew coming into this year this was going to be like the perfect opportunity for him. He heard the noise about he can win with a loaded team, but what can he do with this team?
Yeah.
Derek White had the great thing in his pod where he said Joe called him over the summer to wish him happy birthday. He was like, "Hey Derek, happy birthday! Everyone thinks we're going to stink. I love it," and then just hung up. And from that moment on, I was like, "Oh man, Celtics are going to be so good." It's still impressive what they're doing. In any other year, he'd probably be coach of the year. JB Bickerstaff will win it, and that's understandable because Detroit is just really good, and he should have won it last year. But the thing is, Joe doesn't care. Literally, he would tell you nobody cares. The last thing he wants to talk about is coach of the year and any individual honor. He just wants to win and compete for titles, and he's the perfect guy to squire this forward.
Very briefly, Max had talked about this before. What is it with the 20-game benchmark about Tatum being back for?
Max's assertion, and we talked to him about this, at the beginning of February. He thinks Tatum would need 15 or 20 games to ramp up, and we counted back, and 15 or 20 games is right now.
Yeah,
it's
20 would be Friday night, and
20 games left is Friday.
Saturday.
21. They have 21 games left, and they play tonight.
That's what Max thought.
So again, I think we're in the sort of that sweet spot window where I think if I had to pick, if you again, I always thought the date he circled was around his birthday. So the fact I'll admit, yesterday was the first time I kind of had a little bit more intrigue about whether this would be the day. But if it's Friday, and if it's not Friday, and if it ends up being next Saturday, you're still enough time here to ramp it up. And even if he came back on Friday, I'm not sure he's playing every game to the finish line. I hope he does. But
back to backs are out. Yeah.
Yeah, you would think they'll trade cautiously there, but I still think there's more than enough time to shake some rust and get ready. And like I said, I don't know what day Christmas is, but just wake me up on Christmas Eve.
All right. Well, I'll wake you up on Friday because that's going to be the day. All right.
Go!
Forsberg, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, y'all.
All right. Headlines here from Wallach, and we'll continue here on a fretless Wednesday on Toucher and Hardy.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins beat Pittsburgh at TD Garden last night 2-1. Casey Middlestat and Marat Hustadinov the goals for the Bruins. That's 11 straight home wins. They're on the road to play Nashville tomorrow night. Celtics had last night off. They'll host Charlotte this evening. Jason Tatum remains out. Grandy and Max had the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Derek White yesterday voted the Eastern Conference's Defensive Player of the Month. Red Sox lost to the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team in Fort Myers last night 5-3. They play the Yankees at JetBlue Park this afternoon. Garrett Crochet will start. And in NFL news, the Jets have placed a franchise tag on running back Breece Hall. Indianapolis has placed a transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the DeMar McKim School of Business at Northeastern University. Ready to take your career further? Join them for a week-long series of virtual info sessions to help you find the graduate program that truly moves you forward. Northeastern.edu/business bootcamp. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub.
What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy.
No, nobody really thought that. Friday night, Mavericks. Friday night. That's what it's
Cooper Flagg might be back for Dallas for that game.
That's not great for Tatum. Let's revisit what we were discussing earlier, John, and that is some of the news from the NFL yesterday. And I guess the one player that will be available that probably has the most interest.
It
now?
is a possibility that he won't be, but in theory he would. Indianapolis had a decision to make. They had two players they could have used a tag on. One, Daniel Jones, the other wide receiver Alec Pierce. They wanted to sign Jones to a contract extension before the 4 p.m. tag deadline. They did not. They put the transition tag on him. So that left Pierce without a tag. He will become a free agent Monday at noon when the legal tampering period begins. So they have exclusive negotiating rights between now and then. But if he reaches free agency, he will be the top wide receiver on the board.
All right. What did Greg Bedard have to say about Alec Pierce and the Patriots?
You're looking at like at least $60 million guaranteed for Alex Pierce. To me, he is very tantalizing. The Patriots, if Mike Vrabel was going to go to Robert Kraft and say, we know how our quarterback likes to throw the deep ball. Sometimes when you squint, when you watch some of his big plays, you can almost see a little bit of Randy Moss. Robert, I think this guy is worth it.
Comparing to Randy Moss.
Oh, boy.
I
like Greg, but there are times where you go, oh, maybe no.
I mean, it's not full-blown Tommy Heinsohn when he was looking at what is it? What was it Scalabrini that he
No, I know this because we had him as a guest. It was Greg Steamsma.
Oh,
I know exactly what you're talking about. We had Steamsma as a replacement for Scal for a year, if you remember correctly. After Scal left us and became this big multimedia star, we had Steamsma in, and he had a good game. You know what he reminds me of? Just like during an exhibition game, William Felton Russell. I'm like, all right.
You know, that's
Tommy.
right. You know, that's right. Like a move down low. You say, you know who used to do that?
Yeah.
Russell.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
It was Greg Steamsma. That's who it was.
But I mean, the end result is a real number one. Okay, you have a real number one in here.
Or if nothing else, something you really don't have, because I'm not convinced Kayshon Boutte is this, a legit deep threat. Guy who averaged 23 yards a catch.
Take
the top off the defense.
Top off the defense.
Yes.
Get him downfield. No more of these de facto downfield threats, because the Patriots have had tons of those over the years. Outside of Randy Moss, you know, you were trying to convince yourself that, you know, all types of players were your – sneaky downfield threat. Anyone, from a tight end to a short wide receiver. God, who was the lacrosse player? That
Hogan.
Hogan was like your de facto downfield threat for a while.
This guy, Pierce, has averaged over 20 yards a catch in each of the last 2 seasons. With who throwing him the football? I mean, imagine if he had Drake May throwing him the football.
Right. So that's fun. Someone that Bedard not so high on in terms of a fit for the Patriots would be one Trey Hendrickson.
You know, I would have some interest. It would come down to money and also term. What's he looking for? I mean, he's 30-something years old. At this point, he's 31. Like, he definitely wants to get paid. Yeah, I would have interest. I just don't think he really meshes with where the Patriots are and where they envision themselves going.
And I agree with that. Trey Hendrickson is going to be 32 during the season. He's not the kind of guy. If you are building a program, and I keep coming back to this because this is the key phrase for this organization. If you are building a program, Trey Hendrickson is at the very end of his all-star caliber years. So I don't necessarily think he is the guy for you.
Well, wouldn't that be the definition, too, of falling into the trap of a young team very quickly making itself older?
Yes. Yes.
And that's what
Yes.
Breer is cautioned against. It's one of the things that you could look at the Commanders and say that's what they did after a remarkable run 2 seasons ago. A young team that all of a sudden you kind of got old. What'd you do? Well, specifically, I can't point to examples with the Commanders, but with a move like this for the Patriots, yeah. You're making yourself old in a hurry.
You also have to factor in the cap situation. $40 or $50 million available. You're going to have to sign Christian Gonzalez to a mammoth extension. That'll leave a significant portion of it, and that means you'll only have so much money left over. Hendrickson's going to want a lot of cash.
Right.
So I don't know if – I'm sure there are ways around it and creating more space, but his affordability is very suspect in his case.
Yeah, and I think you'd be much better served. There's no one. Literally, I've not heard, one person say that signing Gonzalez would somehow be the wrong thing to do.
Right.
Now, there are ways around it, and there are ways you can convince yourself otherwise. But on which side do you fall on Christian Gonzalez? Sign him, sign him. That's we're just going to accept that as money that you're going to have to spend. So then what?
By all accounts, and Andrew Callahan said this yesterday or the day before, they not only want to draft an edge, they want to sign 1 or 2 more in free agency. If you're going to sign a couple of edges, you can't sign Hendrickson. You're going to have to – Hendrickson's going to be too expensive for you to sign multiple edges in free agency.
Right.
If you want to get a guy like Mafe from Seattle and somebody else, it can't be Hendrickson. Right. So I think these are the things that will – not only does he not fit with the overall plan, I don't think he fits monetarily either.
All right. So we've I'd say done a decent job here this morning, John. We talked baseball with Dan Roach. And we had some good basketball conversation with Chris Forsberg. You and I have been, holding down what's been going on in the NFL. What about the Bruins? The large chunk of the program devoted to their win last night, 2-1 over the Penguins. But yet you need more Bruins. And for that, we have Ryan Johnston. And he is going to join us next here on what continues to be a fretless Wednesday. He is ill, legitimately ill. Please stay home, Fred. Do not bring what you have in here. So Ryan Johnston will join us next here on the Sports Hub. Hold on.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
The USA World Baseball Classic team beat San Francisco 15-1 in Arizona. Roman Anthony and Alex Bregman home runs for the U.S. squad. And in NFL news, the Jets placed a franchise tag on Breece Hall. Indianapolis placed a transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rodenheiser Home Services. You could win a new high-efficiency gas furnace from Rodenheiser if your furnace is 10 years or older, outdated, and unreliable. Go to Rodenheiser.com/5 free furnaces to enter. That's Rodenheiser.com/5 free furnaces. No purchase necessary. Rules online. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston Talk Sports.
Trade Drake May. We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports Hub.
Why do people listen to Touch Your
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Bruins with a 2-1 victory tonight over the Pittsburgh Penguins. We're joined downstairs by Andrew Peak. Peaker, talk a little bit about this game defensively.
Toucher and Hardy. Fred out sick today. Ryan Johnston, as Fred likes to bring up, maybe the most prolific member of the show that was never actually a full-time member of the show. More appearances on the morning show on 98.5 The Sports Hub than any other person who was not, fully here all the time.
Yes.
Ryan Johnston, a familiar voice, a friend, joins us now. He's the voice of the Boston Bruins on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Hello, Ryan.
Honored to be considered a friend, Hardy.
Oh, well, likewise, I'm sure. As we are basking in the glow of a Bruins victory last night, very exciting first 6 minutes, and then
pretty much one-way traffic.
I mean, what a shock to the system that must have been. You probably thought you were in for like an 8-6 contest last night, the way that game started, and to have it end essentially just how it began. Did you start to come to that realization at some point, maybe in the middle end of the second period, that that's the way this game was going to go?
Yeah, it's funny. I think Marco Sturm said in the pregame interview I did with him yesterday, they had beaten Pittsburgh 1-0 earlier in the season, and he said, they're kind of hoping for a similar type game, and then they come out and 2 scoring chances in the first 30 seconds, 2 really good scoring chances. And then Carlson's shot finds its way into the net. And it's like you're down 1-0, 42 seconds in, I think it was. And then they come back and they grab the lead. 6 minutes in, we've had 3 goals. We've had a goaltender interference challenge. We've had power play. We've had, there was all kinds of things going on in that game. And then things kind of slowed down quite a bit once we got into the second period. And, the Bruins able to hold on. Pittsburgh threw everything they had at them, especially in the first half of the third period before Boston balanced it out a little bit. But, sometimes that's how you're going to have to win. And against a team like Pittsburgh, as talented as they are, even without Sidney Crosby, that's the kind of game that Marco Sturm expected if you take out that first 6 minutes.
We were discussing Jeremy Swayman's night earlier in the show, and I believe Swayman was both lucky and good last night. There were a couple of pucks he didn't see that hit the post and one that missed the net entirely.
I say more good than lucky. I don't think John's given him enough credit for that performance last night.
I thought Jeremy was terrific last night, honestly. The one shot that did beat him, as you mentioned, he didn't see. There wasn't much of a reaction there. Puck was in the back of the net before he knew it. He was looking through a screen of about 4 different guys. Listen, every goaltender there's going to be at times, unless your defense in front of you has been, is doing an incredible job of clearing space. Every goalie at times is going to, make saves that maybe they aren't expecting, where the puck hits them, because they don't see every shot. But that's a big part of how you score in the NHL, as they say. A typical NHL goalie, if they can see it, they're going to stop it.
Is he Sorry, go ahead, Ryan. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Is he back to where he was before? Sturm talked about, he's smiling again. He's back to full speed. Does the Jeremy Swayman you saw last night look like peak Jeremy Swayman?
Yeah, he's been locked in most of the year, honestly. I know there have been some games that have kind of gotten away from him and from the team, but if you look at the, kind of the overall body of work this season, I think after last night's win, I'm trying to remember what the number is here, and I'll actually pull it up off of my notes. Last night was the 21st time this year he's allowed 2 goals or fewer in a game in 39 starts.
Wow.
That's the guy that you pay big money for. That's the guy who's going to give you a chance to win every single night. He's had a handful of games where it's been 5 goals, 6 goals. I think there might even be a 7-goal in there earlier this year. But by and large, he and Korpisalo have done the job effectively enough to give this team a chance to win, especially given kind of where their offense has been, which I think most people, and I think Don Sweeney has talked about this as well. That the offense has performed to a level maybe above expectations for the organization coming into the season.
Yeah, and as good as it's been at times, it was just such a stark contrast last night, as you mentioned, Ryan. 2 great scoring chances in those first 30 seconds, and it looks like they're playing with not just control, but their speed, and they're being aggressive. And there was a time, I believe it was in the second period, where the Bruins were on the power play, and then they kept control of the puck in the Pittsburgh zone for another minute plus afterward. So, they're able to pass and they're able to maintain, but it seemed like they lacked that aggressiveness when it came to trying to score, and the scoring it just dried up for both teams last night. So I'm wondering, moving forward here, as we look ahead to the trade deadline and maybe adding pieces, how important is it, or how likely is it that they would be able to find someone to help with scoring right now, or is it more incumbent upon the players they already have to just be better?
Yeah, so listen, I think by and large the scoring hasn't been an issue that often this season. I mean, you look at how talented an offensive group the Penguins are, and the Bruins are right there as far as goals scored in the season. I think there's a difference of like 0.06 goals between the two teams per game. I mean, so they're doing the job offensively over the last couple of games. They've had some opportunities they haven't cashed in on. Marco Sturm, especially after the game in Philadelphia, was critical of his guys, thought they weren't doing enough to get in front of the net, go to the dirty areas, do the things that you need to do to score. The power play hasn't been able to capitalize here in the coming out of the break. I think they're only 1 out of 9 in the 3 games so far. So there certainly are things that need to improve there. Now, as far as the trade deadline coming up on Friday, are they looking to add up front? Wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to. Certainly the focus of most of the rumors around this team has been trying to add a right shot defenseman. I think we'll hear more of that here in the next couple of days. Whether they actually do it or not will depend on what those deals are that are out there. Right shot defense seems to be the most popular spot that teams are looking to add this year. So the Bruins will have a lot of competition for those spots. And then, if they're looking to add up front, I mean, listen, they've been connected here in the last few days to, Robert Thomas out in St. Louis, Owen Tippett in Philadelphia, who we talked about a little bit during our broadcast in Philly on Saturday. Guys like that. Connor Garland's another one out in Vancouver. Saw a report pop up that the Bruins have kind of re-engaged Vancouver about him, and that's a name that has popped up that the Bruins have had interest in the past, and it hasn't worked out. So, I'm sure Don Sweeney will be looking around at the possible deals, but you also have to remember, most people are expecting that James Higgins is going to turn pro after the Boston College season is over, which is not that far off. And so, do you leave a spot open for him and expect that he's going to be grabbing some of the playing time here down the stretch, and what the expectations might be for him as far as adding some scoring at the NHL level. He's certainly been able to do it at the college level this year, but it would be a significant jump up for him. And so, kind of a lot of moving parts here, as well as the comments that Don Sweeney made the other day about, he wants to give this team a bump, but he certainly wants to do it in a more conservative fashion than we've become accustomed to here.
So
don't give away the store for rentals. Certainly, that's not going to be on the part of the equation here between now and Friday.
So, given all that you just said, how far do you think Don Sweeney is going to go? I would assume that means not trading a first-round draft pick, but all of a sudden, a kid like Matt Patra seems expendable with guys like Higgins and Letourneau and maybe Will Zellers, the kid from North Dakota, in the pipeline. I mean, now there's a possibility if another team wants a guy like Fabian Lysell or wants a guy like Matt Patra, that maybe Don Sweeney isn't afraid to make a move with either one of them.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the reason that you have to restock the cupboard with picks and prospects, is not just to develop those guys, but also to potentially use them as trade chips. And certainly, some of the names that you mentioned, I'm sure, other teams are going to inquire about when the Bruins call up and say, well, is this guy available? So, well, are you willing to give us, Patra? Are you willing to give up Letourneau? Are you willing to give up Higgins? You're going to have varying degrees. It's going to depend on what the deal overall looks like. And, the players that the Bruins are going to target would be ones that either have term on their contract or are willing to talk extension right away. Part of the reason that the Rasmus Andersson deal fell through, we were told, is that, he decided he wasn't going to seek an extension right away and wanted to play out the year. Whether that was trying to direct himself to Vegas or whether he was serious about that, that basically took him off the table for the Bruins. So if you're looking at a guy like Tippett, for instance, in Philadelphia, he's got I think 6 years left on that contract at $6.2 million per. That's a guy that could, you would maybe extend yourself for a little bit more. Would you be willing to part with a first rounder for him? Well, yeah, because of that contract. If he had a year left on that contract, then, no, you're probably not going to make that deal unless you know that you're going to have an extension in place. And so, that's, any move that is going to be made, Don Sweeney told us on Monday, is going to be not just about now, but has to be about the future as well. And so, you're going to kind of shrink down that pool of players that you're going to be truly interested in, because the guys who are going to be unrestricted free agents at the end of the year are not on that list.
Right. But having said all that, the way Sweeney talked on Monday about the availability of money and resources and spots and everything else, you couple that with the fact that he spoke to maybe echoing what some players had indicated, that this team deserves it, the way they've played and, what they need. And, a move is not only, the right thing to do, but they have the ability to do it. How bad is it going to look if they don't actually do something?
That would be very Red Soxian of them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by bump. How big of a bump are you looking to give them? This team has played itself into playoff contention. Management says that, making the playoffs is certainly a goal and has been since the beginning of the season. They've gotten themselves into that spot now with, 22 games to go after last night. You'd like to give them a little bit of a shot in the arm. Now, how big of a step is that going to be? Again, that depends on what the prices are. I'm interested to see how this all works out, honestly, not just for the Bruins, but around the league, because it seems like there are more sellers this year than we typically have at this point in the year, right? If you look down the standings, there are more teams, particularly out in the West, who have essentially waved the white flag already. I mean, St. Louis and Vancouver and Calgary and Chicago's already making deals, and Winnipeg's not, nowhere near a playoff spot. And, you got in the East, I mean, the Rangers, certainly they've had the for sale sign up for a while, but New Jersey's out of it. Florida is, they're 10 points out after last night. Toronto, what are they going to do? There's a lot of teams potentially that are going to be willing to part ways with players. And so that should, you would think lower some of the prices a little bit when you have that many sellers in the market. So, over the next couple of days, we'll kind of see where the market gets set for some of these players. The super high end guys, who have term on their contract are going to be more expensive because of that. But I think Don Sweeney, coming out of that press conference, my expectations are there will be a move, maybe multiple moves, but I'm not expecting a huge blockbuster unless one really falls into their lap that they can't say no to. As he said, he's not aggressively looking to move, one of those extra first round picks right now, but for the right player, it might be willing to do it.
Okay. You're going to Nashville tomorrow night?
You're leaving for Nashville this afternoon, and they play at Nashville tomorrow night. Quick down and back trip, and then a back-to-back this weekend against Washington and Pittsburgh.
I haven't been to Nashville since I was a kid, and I have no thoughts on it one way or the other than people seem to love it when they go there. And in terms of like a hockey atmosphere, I know we've talked about this before, but did you get to enjoy any of it while you're there, or is it overrated? Because now it's hyped up to the point where I think it can't be as good as people say it is.
Nashville is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. We actually got to spend, I think it was 3 nights there last year. As I remember, it was an early season road trip, and I think we had come from Denver or Utah or someplace out west and hit Nashville on the way back, and we had a couple of days off. Nashville is a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get out and experience a little bit of the music scene down on Broadway tonight. It's, if you've never been, it's just, there's a stretch of nothing but bars and honky tonks up and down this road. And you can walk from one to the other, as simple as changing radio stations. So if you don't like the band that's playing in one place, walk next door and find the next place down. As you're walking down the street, most of the bars are either open air or have speakers outside, so you can hear what's going on inside. So, when you hear a song you like, duck in there and hang out for a drink or two and then move on. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, after we get there tonight, I'm going to hopefully go take in a little bit of that scene.
Kid Rock's got a bar down there.
Every country music professional that you've ever heard of has a bar down there.
Well, he's not just country. He's everything.
He's royalty.
Right.
Yes. All right. Well, enjoy your time there, Ryan. Thanks for the time, as always. We appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ryan.
There he goes. Ryan Johnston. You'll hear him again tomorrow night. Calling the game against Nashville alongside Bob Beers here on 98.5.
Never been to Nashville. Always wanted to go. Never been to Nashville. Been to Memphis, but not Nashville.
Well, now, would you drive there, or would you actually get on an airplane to go there?
I get on an airplane. 12's the one who hasn't gotten on an airplane in over a decade.
Well, you like to drive when you're going to Philadelphia and you're going to New
Nashville's
Jersey.
a little further than that, Hardy.
Yeah, but it'd make a nice road trip, though.
How long a drive is Nashville from here?
It's got to be like 14, 16 hours, somewhere in that
That's
range.
I can't drive more than 6. 6 is about my max. 6. It took me 5.5, 6 to get out to school in Western New York State. And I remember having to drive from there to Cleveland one night. That's another 6. That's enough.
5, 6 in a stretch is good. That gets you to Moosehead Lake. That's a good drive.
What were you going to Cleveland for?
Actually, I was the Red Sox were there. They were playing the Cleveland Indians, and I was in college. We drove out there.
Madman.
Yep.
Look at you.
Well, we drove up to Toronto for something else.
Is Jacobs Field open
Does
yet?
that count?
Yeah, okay, there you go.
What year was that, John? Was that when Jacobs Field was open?
No, that was before. That was the old municipal stadium.
All right. We will have our award-winning emails segment. The stack still to get to here today as Fred is convalescing at home, most likely in the bathroom, dealing with multiple issues, and we wish him well. Wallach and I are here, though. We'll continue next here on the Sports Hub.
More Toucher and Hardy on the...
You've never been to the Royale? Did
Never
you?
been
Were
to
you
the
there
Royale.
before when it was the Roxy? You probably were there when it was the Roxy.
Yeah, I was there at the Roxy.
Great sound system in there.
All
They
right.
did a really good job when they redesigned that place of making it work for like type music, but also rock music. So,
Yeah.
yeah, good sound.
Oh. I've been going to shows, man. I've been going to concerts. I'm like
Nice.
a concert goer again.
You up for Bob Mould and Sugar?
Yeah,
later
yeah,
this year? You
yeah.
wanna go to that show?
I would absolutely
All
go
right.
see Sugar.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Then we'll get.
He's
that
going to throw in some old Husker Du stuff, right?
Maybe not. He did for his solo tour. I don't know if he'll do that with Sugar. I don't know if they'll. Yeah, they probably will throw in like a solo Bob song and a solo Husker Du, or like a Husker Du song. But it's going to be mostly Sugar, which I'm fine with because that's my
just
favorite.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, good. Email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to call Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens. 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com.
This is a very interesting morning to me because usually, and I put
Usually Fred is here, but he's vomiting and doing other stuff.
And this has kind of altered the email segment a little bit because usually Blind Scott drops 15, 20 emails a morning to us. Today, 1.
Oh, I have 3.
Okay. Well, then it's specifically to you. Usually I have a folder that these all go into. I only see 1 this morning, but is a significant drop-off in the emails he sent to us this morning because Fred is not here.
Well, that's part of it. Sometimes he's been emailing specific people on the show instead of the whole blast. But he says this was at 8:10 a.m. You sound really good today, John. John sounds like he's happy Fred's out, but you both sound good. It's a good show. I'm taking a nap now. Really good job, though.
Wow.
You sound great.
I mean, that's borderline insulting. He's going to sleep in the middle of the show that you and I are hosting.
He's up all night. He's blind. He
Yeah,
doesn't
but
know. It's
usually
day
we
from
get
night.
emails wall to wall, and he quit during the third hour.
But then a minute later, he was not napping. He said, I'd like to come on the golf show for a whole episode and talk about how I played golf when I was younger and all the courses I played. I just call you Bob on this thing because my voiceover won't say your name. I got to train it somehow. So there you go. You asked for Blind Scott emails.
There it is. There it is.
I hope that was worth it.
It was awesome.
I shared with the one earlier from Mike who said we're doing the right thing and telling Fred to stay home today and that he runs an office and if one of his employees gets him sick before a vacation, he will terminate that employee and then fight the legal system against giving them unemployment. So, yeah, what the illness that Fred is dealing with today, nobody wants.
This from Paul. Fred Free Wednesday. Have fun today, guys. Positivity will rule today. Love the working relationship with you, too. The question is Fred really sick?
Oh, I believe he's really sick.
Yes, I believe he's really sick as well.
A little bit of breaking news from T-Bone in here. Scott Zolak.
Whoa.
Sick today.
Really?
With stomach issues.
Uh-oh, it's going around.
So now
Don't
the
like
discussion
that.
begins. Where did that begin?
Who's the next guy on the list? That's what I'm thinking. Who's next?
Now, if it were, I would be more concerned about this if it were Beetle or T-Bone, who is never sick.
I see where you're headed with this, and I think you're right.
But
yeah.
if anyone, if you were to just do a likelihood that he will be suffering from some kind of gastrointestinal disorder, Scott Zolak is always the leader in the clubhouse. He's just, there's always something going on there. So I would not necessarily say that the coincidental as it might be that someone from the morning show and someone from the afternoon show suffering from a stomach ailment, Zoe kind of always is.
Is Zoe the one who had the hot water heater problem that didn't turn out to be?
His water heater unfortunately went down on him on a Friday in June. That was
kind of strange it would happen then.
But
the hot water heater, when it's hot out,
the most
went down.
The most surprising part about Zoe's water heater being, it was this saga of him buying a water heater, going to pick it up. You know, he had purchased it online. He goes to Lowe's or Home Depot to pick it up. It won't fit in the back of his vehicle. So then he had to be home for its delivery and replacement. And what did we find out years later? T-Bone. What did we find out years later about Zoe's water heater that crapped the bed that day? Do you remember?
He's not talking. He's not going to the microphone.
He's going to go over to the.
Okay. He's going over there. Okay, fair enough.
Gemelli like speed.
You had a second water heater go out or something, didn't
No, he never replaced it. Didn't
someone see him out doing something that day?
Saw him out having a 3 martini lunch at Davio's or something.
We had a great song that we used to play along with that we can no longer play because someone doesn't work here anymore.
Oh yeah. And no, it was not a great song. It was
It's very offensive.
It was very offensive to the religious community. And if you're offended at the very notion of that, I would tell you his initials are Adam Jones.
Yeah.
And direct all complaints to him. But no, that water heater that went that day remained in employment for years.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was very
interesting
strange.
how that works out, and yet he missed how many days of work? Or was it just the Friday?
It was just that one day, but it was this whole thing.
Yeah.
That, about, replacing it and going to pick up the new one. And then he was having people coming over to the house to haul away the old one and the cost and all this stuff. And was it all a lie? We don't know. But the Zoe's out sick today. Maybe suffering from the same thing that Fred is. I would guess not.
Gentlemen, perhaps Blind Scott's taking a nap, quote unquote, was all just a ruse so he could head over to Fred's house and take care of him today.
Oh.
Think about that.
Bring him a little chicken soup.
I mean, he's wanted to be with Fred for a long period of time. Maybe this is his opportunity.
This could be your chance. I hope he's not napping now because you
got to get your head on his head. It's got to be on a swivel at this point.
Life opens doors for you, Scott. You got to be able to burst through those things, even if they're locked.
Saltines and Gatorade.
And this from Richie in Revere. Hardy, very happy to hear the Sports Hub Golf Club will be back. Put me on the list of people that have always wanted to be on the show. I'm here if you need me.
Oh, that's nice.
85, the Golf Club.
And this was the big news in the 6 o'clock hour. We have found out that the Sports Hub Golf Club is going to be back for another year. You guys start Masters weekend, right?
14th season, yes. The Sports Hub Golf Club.
I'm very happy for you. You look enthused. This is great.
Look, it's a labor of love.
Yeah.
And all I can say to Ryan Beaton is that you will learn to love it. Okay.
Well, this is year 2 for him?
Yeah, but he really half-assed it last year.
Oh, really?
So this is his time to shine. Is not.
Where's Ryan?
He's cutting video right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, he is going to be put to the test this year.
Why is it going to be different for him this year?
It's just going to be different. Okay, I am going to put more on his plate.
More elements are being added to the Sports Hub Golf Club?
For him, yes.
Okay.
When it comes to planning and booking guests and editing material, and this is going to fall largely on Ryan.
You're going to make him go to these golf courses.
The Sports Hub Golf Club, you know what, John? I hadn't factored that in, but why not? Let's send him out to get some audio.
But as long as you give him free rounds of golf. Oh, my God. As long as you give him free rounds of golf.
You're going to have to do that now.
That's a great idea. Just send Beaton out. Okay, he's responsible for this segment. Maybe make him responsible for his segment every week. Get that kid on the mic more.
Oh, my God.
Because he's electric.
Let him stretch out a little bit.
Yeah, let him cook.
Yeah.
Let Beaton cook.
Oh, boy.
He'll be much more involved with this season of the Sports Hub Golf Club. All right, here's one from Scott. I'm flabbergasted by what happened on the top 25 movie list. Now, if you were listening at 7 o'clock, Adam 12 had presented us with a list of the top 25 movies, critically acclaimed movies from 25 years ago, from 2001. And on that list, he was trying to give us hints to come up with movies like Spy Kids and Shrek, Monsters, Inc. He left off the list. As you know, you're not going to do all 25. And this is what Scott says. Adam chose not to bring up Training Day and Ocean's 11. when he was questioned why he didn't use those movies, he said the other movies were big hits. Does this mean Training Day and Ocean's 11 were not hits?
Not as big.
Both of these movies are much more relevant in the zeitgeist than Spy Kids or Shrek.
See, not having Fred here today throws my zeitgeist meter off.
No, it was
That's what
just
the problem is.
I would encourage you to every once in a while think like a man, okay?
It's hard for me.
Just
put that sensitivity aside.
Never mind the fact that you are in the demo. Think like someone in the demo, okay?
Let's see, so
and what is going to be more interesting to this audience, Spy Kids or Training Day?
Monsters Inc., big furry blue guy, Training Day,
Right.
Denzel Washington with gun.
Look,
okay,
the
that's
fact.
the better one. Okay.
Listen. The fact that Fast and Furious was not on this
Yes,
list
John
at
was
all
very upset about this.
disqualifies the list entirely. I suggest you go looking for a new list.
Well, look, commercially, I'm sure Fast and the Furious was good. But, John, look, we're friends. Look at me. You know this is not like a good movie, these Fast and Furious movies.
Of course not.
Okay, all right. Well, that's
I'm
what-
not saying,
well,
but they certainly deserve to be mentioned. It was part of the zeitgeist.
Okay, but
at that
this
time.
wasn't a zeitgeist list. This was a list of critically acclaimed movies. And Fast and Furious was not going to be on that list. Come on. I'm surprised.
10 movies say
Actually,
different.
I'm kind of surprised Ocean's 11 is on the list. And I love Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11 was good at the time. Ocean's 11 was critically acclaimed at the time.
I'll take your word for it. I don't
Yes.
remember. As I said, I
Now,
was not-
Ocean's 12 was horrible, but Ocean's 11, very good.
I was not going to the movies a lot in 2001.
Yes, you were otherwise occupied, as you mentioned earlier.
We had someone just email in. He said we got Nick's son's name wrong. Miles Gemelli is incorrect. It was Sakopi Gemelli, which
Sakopi.
That's right.
It's not Kankamagus Gemelli? I thought it was Kankamagus Gemelli.
Ponka Poag
Gemelli.
Right.
Kakamungus.
Kakamungus Gemelli. It's a middle name. Kakamungus.
You think Nick is listening to the show?
No.
Has he gotten to that point? I bet you he is.
He was yesterday. and
I
the
bet
days
he
before,
is
but,
listening to the show.
Hey, guys, do birds require more sleep than men? I listen every day and love the show. However, for years now, Wallach bitches about his lack of sleep, and I want to wring his bird neck. How much of your audience do you think are blue-collar trades working men? What hours do you think we work? For the last 23 years, I've started work on the job site between 5 and 6 a.m. On average, have an hour drive to work. That means a 3:30 to 4 a.m. wake up. I don't take a nap every day with my sippy cup like a kindergartner after snack time. I also work a minimum 8 hours a day, but a lot of jobs are overtime. 10, 12-hour days, 6 days a week, not 4 hours like Birdman John. I also have 3 kids, all involved in travel sports, before he selfishly tries to use his children as an excuse instead of lack of manliness. No. Tell that dumb bird to get a large coffee at Dunkin' like the rest of us and shut his stupid beak about it. Sincerely, Paul.
What a miserable life that man has built for himself.
Once again, selective hearing from Paul. My only point I brought up was you don't get a lot of sleep on this job simply because you're watching games at night and you wake up early. My point was we are more susceptible to catching any and all kinds of colds and illnesses because we don't sleep 6, 7, 8 hours at a time. We usually tend to sleep in shifts. 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 That was my point. It has nothing to do with my job being more difficult than anyone else's. I freely admit doing what that guy does is way tougher than doing this. My only point was you have the opportunity to sleep in a bigger block, and that helps you block out illnesses. Well, that was the point.
The one thing that he's right about, and at least you've taken to drinking a Celsius every morning, is the fact that you and Fred don't drink coffee, which is just insane to me.
I tried that one summer. One summer I worked as an overnight security guard, as you know.
Yeah.
And about 3 o'clock, because we're not made to stay up all night, third shift is very difficult. Yeah. That was when I tried coffee in college. And this is before there were Starbucks and all this kind of designer. Coffee it sucked. It was horrible. I hated it and never went back.
I mean, did you like beer the first time you tried it?
No, but
you
I
keep
did
going
learn to
back
like it. Yep.
Because of what it does for you.
Yes.
Same thing with coffee. And then you grow to appreciate the taste.
Didn't happen with me.
If you would just treat coffee the way you treat your precious booze, then maybe you would start to reap the benefits of it. But you won't.
No.
All right. Finally here. And I didn't even really think of this. Is this right? Huh. Someone says that this is Fred's. It's Luchador. Fred has missed 2 days and 2 weeks. Time to bring back Freddie's dead. Did he miss a day last week?
I don't remember that. Is that right? 12?
Huh. Let me check the
I don't
rules.
think
Hold
so.
on for a moment.
I can't remember. Unless it was a
Might have been the week. Oh, yeah. Is he thinking about when Fred did his show from home?
During the blizzard.
During the blizzard?
During the blizzard.
Yeah, that doesn't
right?
count. That
Yeah.
doesn't count.
No.
Not time. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And if this gastrointestinal issue continues, then maybe we can play a round of Freddie's dead. But we'll wait for tomorrow for that. But for now, we got to get to Wallach's headlines and the stack, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Hold on.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins lead is now 3 points for the final playoff spot in the East after a 2-1 home win over Pittsburgh last night. They hit the road to play Nashville tomorrow evening. Celtics play Charlotte at TD Garden tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jason Tatum still out for the Green. The Hornets come in with 5 straight wins and 15 in their last 18 games. Red Sox lost to the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team in Fort Myers last night, 5-3. Garrett Crochet faces the Yankees at JetBlue Park this afternoon. And the USA World Baseball Classic team beat San Francisco 15-1 in Arizona yesterday. Roman Anthony, a 2-run homer. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Blue Sky Restoration Contractors. If you're experiencing property damage from ice dams, roof leaks, or burst pipes, our guys at Blue Sky are ready to respond 24/7. So visit goblusky.com, restoring your property and your life for a brighter tomorrow. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 10 o'clock.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, it is stack time as John and I wrap things up here without Fred today, who is home ill. I'm sure he would have something to say about both of these items, though. Number one, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins has a theory as to why, and I've said this many times, the 90s were the last great music decade. The last, great movement in rock and roll was grunge and alternative music from the 90s. But things got dialed down after that. He said it was on purpose. Okay, so here's what Billy Corgan says. Rock was purposely dialed down in the culture. And again, this gets wizard behind the curtain, right? Someone's going to say, well, how do you know it was the wizard behind the curtain? All I know is I saw the gravity shift. If you were at MTV around 97 or 98, suddenly they decided rock was out when it was still very high up in the thing, and it was replaced by rap. Their standards and practices immediately shifted, so now that things that weren't allowed were suddenly allowed. People were waving guns. Some people assert that the CIA was involved in all that. Again, above my pay grade, but I saw it happen. I did witness it happen.
High up in the thing? Is that what he said?
And the CIA.
The CIA got involved.
Very, very important people are saying this. It's interesting to me, that comment from him, Hardy, given the fact that the era he's talking about, 1997, 1998, his band released an album with no drums on it. So,
right.
Yeah. Adore wasn't the rock album that Melancholy or Siamese Dream was. So perhaps you were part of the problem that you're talking about.
I'm sure he could, theorize as to why the CIA would want, people waving guns to replace rock music, but I choose not to go any further. Instead, I want to investigate what young Nicholas Gemelli, who is still participating in our content channel that we use here, proposing this as a show trip. He says, stacked lineup, show trip, ? And then he provided a link to something called the Oceans Calling Festival in September. Now, you tell me if he's joking.
Okay.
Is he joking?
I haven't looked at the lineup of this yet.
All right.
Give it to us.
I would not go across the street to see any of the 6 headliners.
All right.
At the Oceans Calling Festival. Dave Matthews Band and Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, boy.
Out.
Okay.
21 Pilots, Gwen Stefani.
Out and out.
Mumford & Sons and Matchbox 20.
Great.
I've seen Mumford & Sons. They're fine. I don't
They're
know that
fine.
I would want to see them again.
I wouldn't go across the street to watch them.
No.
I don't have a problem with them, but I'm certainly not going to Ocean City, Maryland. All right, let's talk about some of the supporting acts. Ludacris, OAR, Yellow Card, Shaggy, and Liz Phair.
I like Liz Phair.
I like Liz Phair. Do you want to go to Maryland to see a Liz Phair concert?
Today, no, it's not an
All
awesome
right.
idea.
Night number 2, support acts. Goo Goo Dolls, Third Eye Blind, All Time Low, and 311.
Sacopede.
311.
Oh, also Violent Femmes and Dashboard Confessional.
If it's Dashboard's good live. If it's a music festival, 311's involved.
And Better Than Ezra is on night 1 too, who I just saw play, and they were fantastic. But I'm not going to Maryland to see them.
So you basically, out of that 2-day festival, we got like a 3-day line, a 3-band bill that we would go and see if it were playing like locally.
Night number 3, support acts. Camp, who I would go.
Camp Low? No,
Camp. Camp with 2 A's.
Yeah, okay.
My Morning Jacket.
Not anymore.
That
Back
was
in
a
the
favorite.
day, they were great, but now they're a gross jam band.
That was a favorite of someone who used to work on the show.
The Head and the Heart, and Hanson.
Oh, Hanson's big now again.
Now,
how old are those kids now?
I don't know.
50.
But Susanna Hoffs is also one of the supporters.
Ooh, all right. Now we're cooking with
But I'm not going to Maryland to see any of them. Like, what is he talking about? Is he serious?
I don't think he was serious.
He's delirious.
Yes.
Maybe. Lack of sleep already. John, you can relate.
Yes, I can.
All right. So we'll find out tomorrow if Fred will be joining us. If not, we will put together a fantastic show for you. Anyway, don't you worry about that. No Scott Zolak today. He is also home ill.
Did the midday show have time to replace him?
That's an excellent question. It might just be Beadle and McBone. I haven't seen anyone else come through the door.
I think T-Bone said Beatles got a scheduled day off today, so
Maybe it's just the McBone show.
McBone doing the 4 by himself?
All right, let's find out. We will find out moments from now here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Have a great day. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and for your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship.